Well, hello there. We think we've gone live. We've pushed the button. In fact, we pushed the button a little bit earlier because last week we were extra concerned about starting live. So we had a little bit of elevator music just for a few seconds before we pushed the live button. Hey, what we got in the chat tonight? We've got the one and only. Got to show this. Well, hello there from me, of course, but here's Crenshaw himself. Crenshaw FAO. I'm sure I wonder what that means. I bet the F stands for, no, not that, fantastic. And we think A is probably for awesome because of his reviews, as smooth as salted butter. And oh, well, let's have a think about that one. What could the O stand for? Omega. I tell you what, we'll have a little think about that one. Anybody else in the chat who knows what Crenshaw's O stands for, join in. So yes, Crenshaw, he is a friend of the show, very special friend of the show. He is very, what do we call him? He is shoulder to the boulder in terms of his support, and we like that. You know, you may notice in our chats with our X page, we rarely use the word I. We use the word we for a great many reasons. It's not really about us, not on this one. And so we like the idea of community, and our thoughts are quite ranging, and it's nice to think of other people when we do these kind of shows. That's what the whole show's about. It's not really about me. It's about other people. We like to celebrate the works of other people. We've sent the invite for the show out to Sean Woods, and we know that sometimes people run a little bit late, and that sometimes the plants have to align, sometimes they're chasing their tails. So we were in that situation last week. We got the show prepared, the presentation for everybody done, for the guest done for the Outlaw Nights and Fusebox. And then we just thought we'll do a couple little things, and then, you know, you try to nip to the corner shop to do a little something you must do, and then you end up with 5 customers in front of you thinking, well, I thought I had 10 minutes to do this, and obviously I don't. And you know, you've got to make sure you give everything its time, especially when you're still mastering time and space as we are. So yes, brother Crenshaw, you are shoulder to the boulder. You know that Sisyphus feeling. Well, that's how it is sometimes with life. And and in terms of growing a community, it's very hard to start from zero. You know, you've only got a handful of followers on YouTube, but we've actually got 105 on here. And another platform, it's a slightly different thing. It's slightly different tribes, slightly different things that respond to. They like things that are more generally entertaining and more educational. And fusing that together with edutainment, you've got to earn your stripes even on another platform. So Azrael's prepared to do that, especially with friends and brothers like Crenshaw FAO in the house. It might be Omega. I'm gonna have to think about that some more. I'm thinking, what could that be? So we're still waiting on Sean Wood, but I think, you know what we can do, actually. I think we can add the presentation to the show window. I think we can do that. Let me just 1 second. Just 1 second. There we go. Let's see. Let's see, what has that done there? This one here. That's it. Just a little look. Right. Just a little look here. What we're doing here. That one. Let's see. Add that one to stage. Move that one to stage. That's that one. Right. Second here. I want to try again. That's it. It just wouldn't go through for a second. You know, you're still learning to use stuff like this. I was quite new to Streamyard, but every now and again, software glitches. They've got a new feature which we like, actually, which allows you to actually control the media put up previously on the show. It doesn't matter how you upload the media for the show. It puts it in its own certain order, and then you're thinking, well, the trailer's over there, and this is over there, and you're thinking, hang on a minute here. And then you've got to think about which order you're pressing, because it's not in sequential order. But they've got a new arrangement of media feature that's in beta, and that's at the side. We'll have a play with that privately later. So it means that you can actually put your trailer first, and then your presentation, and then for the guest, and then you can have their trailer for their comic, and then you can have the outro trailer. So 1, 2, 3, 4 actually makes sense, but it's not in that order as it currently is. It's in kind of like something like 4, 2, 3, 1. It's, and you're thinking, oh, how does that work? You know, who we got here in the guest chat tonight? We've got the one, and we've showed our trailer. Let's move on to the next one. We'll talk about this one in a minute. But you know, when we've got a lady in the house, we have to show her respect. Hello, Kyle. Dropped in to say hello. Hello there, Bianca Yamakoshi. Bianca is one of the people who on our X platform, where we celebrate indie creators of all types, unique, powerful, what do you call them? Just individual creators who have their own singular voice, and Bianca does. I call her the Dark Blade. She's got these lovely noir, deep hold blacks that anchor her scenes. It's almost like the pencil has been inked by a sword. You know, there's kind of noir feel to them, and there's a kind of pulp heat to her unique style coloring, and even more unique than both of those things. Just look at the little green light to show eye contact with the audience there. Oh yes, apparently got to do that, and it's important. And no, Bianca brings a pulp heat with her colouring, which is quite unique, but it's her penciling style. She works with blue and red pencil, and it's the way she uses them as compositional elements to separate foreground and background elements. And also that has to be quite handy when you're inking, so you can quite clearly see which elements you're keeping track of. But on a personal level, we quite like the use of reds because it's warmer than blue, which can seem a little bit cold and can sometimes appear a little bit distant to actually ink. But to have them together, you can clearly see what the composition is and what order perhaps you're going to ink in, foreground to background elements mainly. It's a very unique way of working, which we're quite enthusiastic about. We've mentioned a few times, handful of times on our X channel. And also she's working with other people in the indie comics community, and her pencils are quite intense, and we like that. I mean, creative work is suffering. It is pensive, it is intense. And now and again, we get far too enthusiastic about other people and their work on X. And, you know, we try to keep to 5 posts a day, you know, and then we end up, I think over this weekend, we've done 12 posts a day, and we're trying to create a lot of density in our posts so that we give people who actually watch our channel a lot of value for the time we take up of theirs. Their time is valuable. We use our time to give them value and celebrate their work. So hello, Bianca, and I'm glad you dropped in to say hello. Yes, we'll be following your work with great interest. Yes, Bianca. And what we got here from Crenshaw, another message. It stands for Forsaking All Others. Now this, we do like the sound of that. Forsaking All Others, which I thought was a pretty cool band name back when I thought I tried to play guitar. Hey, we tried to do that with the old playing guitar thing. So you play guitar as well, Crenshaw, as did our good selves. We tried to do a bit of the old guitaring back in the day when we joined a Hawkwind tribute band, and I think we made a lot of progressive noise, and I had no idea what we were doing. It was me being a guitarist. Had some groupies in the audience, and I think we got paid once in a crate, a red crate it was, of Newcastle brown ale. And I remember taking it that night and thinking, you know, the leader of the band, we haven't been paid yet, and I'm certainly taking this crate of Newcastle brown ale home. That's the diplomatic way of putting it. So yes, Crenshaw, it stands for Forsaking All Others, FAO, and I thought it was a pretty cool band name back when. I think so. I'd say that's a pretty cool band name. There's nothing quite like that. Right then, we are waiting on our beloved Sean Woods. Let's see here if we've got a private message from him. Well, we do have a private message, but it's not from Sean. We'll see if we hear from him soon. But it doesn't matter. As I always say, real life happens. And Kyle, what do you mean by that? Are you saying you're going to do a lot of the show with and without him? Yeah, because if people don't make it or can't for whatever reason, we're prepared to spend some of our time to try and promote them. So let's give this a little go while we're waiting on Sean, and we'll even perhaps show his trailer earlier, perhaps, to take up some of the time while we get started here. So then, folks, we have got here then. We've done our trailer, and we are the 5 pillars of storytelling. In case you haven't watched our previous shows, we've had some great guests on so far, and we have to say, we're learning the ropes, we're earning the stripes. We've got to earn the right, we've got to earn your trust. So a new show, we'll try our best for you to give a bit of value, and this can be watched or listened to while you're doing your chores at home on a Sunday afternoon or lazing on a Sunday afternoon. Put it in the background. We know these shows are quite long, so the way they've turned out, we thought, we'll make them quick, snappy 30 minutes. Clearly, we were dreaming. But if you want to get into a creator's life story and how they've taken their journey to indie comics, that doesn't just happen in 5 minutes. You have to gradually peel away the years and unfold the tapestry, and their words, not ours. So yes, the 5 pillars of storytelling: art, comics, movies, games, and toys. And it's Azrael. Hopefully we'll hear from Sean Wood in due course. It's Sunday, 9th of March, Recon and the Little One. It's 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time for our start, and we didn't actually start on time. We hit the elevator loop music earlier, and then we went straight to the trailer. If we move to a paid plan, then we get the trailer to actually work, shall I say, automatically, which is quite cool. And that's probably how John's Longbox's show is so cool and so smooth. Plus, he's been doing it way loads. We like John's Longbox. He's a patriarch in the indie comics community. Well, let's move to the next slide. We're your host. It's our introduction, Azrael. We talk about the who, the what, the why, and the how of indie comics and the creators. And so we say, hello there, welcome to the 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live, where we talk about art, comics, movies, games, and toys from the past, present, and future. I'm your host, Azrael, and my secret identity is Kyle Prometheus. I'm a storyteller myself, artist and promoter of indie comics, indie creators, indie comics, and indie community. I want to help the indie comics community grow by actually promoting people in this way, what I mean? And it's, if we do this together, we'll put our shoulders to the wheel, like Brother Crenshaw, shoulder to the boulder. The more bodies we can get around this, we can move that boulder up the hill, let it roll down the hill for a bit of a breather, and then get a shoulder to the boulder again for that other mountain that you have to climb, peaks and peaks, and gradually get higher. Our style is universal. We can be watched by creative families, no drama, none of the choice cut stuff of adult life. We want to allow children, adolescents, to watch this with their parents, because when we were younglings and we were adolescents, there was nowhere to go for advice from creators about art and writing. It just wasn't around. This is Star Trek technology. So as a person of 29 years of age, don't look too bad for 29, I tell you. When we go towards the door of technology, that's seen in the Matrix, we hold the handle. But people younger than us, they don't even bother with the handle. They go straight through it. They are Keanu Reeves. They are the spoon. They're one with the Matrix. And us more mature creators are kind of trying to catch up, I guess, in the slipstream of those 20-somethings that have really exploded YouTube over the last 6-7 years, And yes, the style is universal. It can be watched with younglings, adolescents, and their parents, and you can learn together. You know what I mean? Our motto is to listen, to learn, and to share. Inspiring quote: comics are an international language. They can cross the boundaries and generations. Comics are a bridge between all cultures. Famous manga, legendary manga creator said that. And another quote from the same legend: now we are living in the age of comics as And I think that's as appropriate as anything for this indie comic era. I mean, indie comics have just exploded. This has gone beyond the Ninja Mutant Turtles era, where you were lucky if you had shelf space with the malls and the DCs of comic shops back in the mid 80s. And then obviously the black and white indie boom busted. We don't think that's going to happen this time. You haven't just got comic shops or a dearth of newsstands celebrating comics for just two companies. You've got a wild frontier of individual creators with a Swiss Army knife of Star Trek technology, so they can decide what tools they want to use, and they can push the button. Azrael, remember that, pushing the button last week? And yeah, you can push the button and you've got access to 4 billion people. Half the world's got the internet. You've got access to the world's biggest giant comic shop, in a sense, bigger than all the bricks and mortar stores in the world combined. So you've got a kind of portal to a world comic shop. So it's just you in your room or your studio, and you've got direct access to other potential readers of your comic with very little noise in the middle. And we think that's very, very significant. Absolutely is. Absolutely is. All right, then our next slide we're going to go to, just to give a little bit about Sean. I'll just see, we'll check our texts, DMs in Recon. I've sent him his link, and tell you what we'll do. We'll send him another one. You never know, his notices might need a little bit of a nudge. So I'm going to give him another link. Just send it through on our private DMs. Do you know what is funny about DMs? I'll tell you what it is. We are very, how can you describe it? I'm just going to put here to Sean. Actually, drop him a message. So I'll just say, hello, Sean. People might have a variety of reasons why they don't turn up. I'll just say, hello, Sean. Hope you're okay. I'm just put here, we're stalling for you. Well, we can be stalled. We can have a chat with the people who turn up. That's fine. I'm quite prepared to do. I'm quite prepared to just enjoy the moment of his presentation while he's taking his. You never know what's happening with people, So you have to ask them if they're okay. Hope you're okay. We're stalling for you. Hope you can make it soon. Hope you can make it soon. It's quite handy if you can touch type when you're doing this. That's almost a form of multitasking for us, which we're obviously great at. So I hope you can make it soon. I'll just put here, best regards, Kyle. Just give him a smiley face as well. There you go. It's sent. So he's got 2 links and a few messages. There you go. So there you are. That's it. Oh, we've actually launched our indie comic promo today, and again we have a robust response to it. We really do. Lots of crits coming in with indie comic promos, and after this show we'll actually put a few up at the top of our X channel and see who's going to be celebrated this time. We're all about celebrating and championing people here at the 5 Pillars of Storytelling, whether it's on X or YouTube. It's of little consequence to us. What are the 3 words we are looking for from this show on X, people? I think we went on somebody's show last week. I think it was Rex Devilflyer. And I think one of the ladies in chat asked me, how would you describe what you do? And I'll say this. After the darkness of the last 3 years, and you know what we're talking about, but I won't dwell on it. I thought, how can we get some light, some sunshine out of that? And the 3 words of our guiding star, again, we'd say grace, gentleness, and generosity. You can go and find the drama on X. It's of little consequence to us. We don't care about that. We want to keep it positive, have grace, gentleness, and generosity. We try and hold ourselves to a pretty high standard and try and be as professional as possible with people. Doesn't mean we can't have a laugh and show a bit of humour, a bit of gentle teasing now and again. But, where we see the strength and the talents in others, we encourage creators everywhere to, I'll say this on big screen, to Harness your resources. Yeah. Marshal your talents, marshal your resources, harness your talents. Maybe that's another way of saying it. You've got it. Yeah. Look at your strengths, look at yourself in the mirror and be honest and say, I'm not so bad. I can do this. Be passionate, be courageous, have conviction about what you want to do with your hopes and dreams and your indie comics. I'd rather give you my money than a millionth version of Batman or Superman. 80 years of doing that, it can be very awesome with the latest rinse and repeat Batman. Some people that can be this generation's Batman. But I'd rather give my money to, I don't know, a Vaughan Coleman or a Matt Garvey, I Took a Hammer to Hell, or a Star Million with Orium Saga. I'd rather give my money to the 4th edition of the Tomb of Reckoning. I already have 1 to 3. I have 1 to 3 of Matt Garvey's I Took a Hammer to Hell. I just backed a Blue Shacks comic. Is it Ronan? This female scuba diver. I thought, I just love the undersea cover. I had a thing for scuba divers back when I was youngling. Maybe it's because I watched too much. My first anime was Marine Boy. So you never know. Maybe it's maybe that's why it's scuba divers. We'll have to see what it's about. And plus, it's digital. It's only was it £4, £4.95? Well, got to back it for that. On Fund My Comic, Luke Stone, the Stoic Luke Stone's specialist comic book crowdfunder. Had to have some of that. And what's that other one we backed in recently? The Line of Olympus, like that. And you get free comics with it. 3 free comics with that. I thought, all that for £8. Got to do it. Hey man, got to do it. £8 for 4 comics. Okay, they're all digital. I love my paper, but when you live in the UK and some of these creators are US based, it's very difficult to take the paper. If I was at a convention in the US, no problem. Cash down, paper. But it's the shipping that's killing us at the minute. You know what I mean? Maybe when all prices go a little bit cheaper, maybe that'll bring the prices of shipping down again. Who knows? We can only speculate on the geopolitical stage, which we don't talk about politics, sex, religion in this show. If you want to talk about sort of stuff, there's loads of places to have a fight with somebody on X about, And oh, wait a minute, we've got some more chats here. Oh, here we go. Bianca, you got another fan. We're fans. You got another fan. Crenshaw, I saw Bianca's art on one of your posts. Really like it. One day, when I get it written, I have a story that would fit her style perfectly. Could it be, look at the green light here, could it be that Crenshaw and Bianca will team up to create the most powerful indie comic? Now, intrigue stirs my mind. Oh yes, now, Master Crenshaw. Rock, paper, scissors, isn't it? Oh yes. Yes. Oh, what we got here? Crenshaw, another comment. Daylight savings time happened in the US. That might explain the guest issue. That's it. I'm going to put that in his. We'll hang on for him. And now that I know that, Crenshaw, I tell you what, Crenshaw, if I was going into war, you'd be one of my battle generals. You know what I mean? I'd be the Athens guy, the Potter. But you can have my sword. You can be one of the Spartans. You know what I mean? We certainly like to have you. We'd swing like the Greek urn, but you'd be the guy with the sword. Battle general, you're the kind of guy, we like you. We certainly have you by shoulder to shoulder by our side in battle. Oh yeah, you'd be one of the 300, no questions. So yeah, daylight savings time happened in the US. That's the issue. That's the one. We get caught out with that. We do every year. So I'm just going to put a question into Recon's chat. I'm going to put hello, Sean. And just put here, Crenshaw says the US is on daylight time saving thingy. Whenever I can't use my brain or have a slight memory hole, thingy is a word we use a lot. Don't know if you Americans use the word thingy, but us Brits do, or maybe it's just a family thing. I'll just put here, hello Sean, Crenshaw says I'm going to put hello Crenshaw A F A O. Says the US on daylight saving thingy. So that might have muddled up the time for you. No problem. No problem. We'll keep nattering. Nattering with the chat and showing your trailer and bits of stuff until you make it. We'll give it a fair shot anyway until you make it. I'll put here, best regards, Kyle. There you go. See this? This is lifetime. This is real-time support, isn't it? Tech support and creator support. You know, I mean, you know, we all have those moments. In fact, I have those moments every day, actually. Right, there you go. Best regards, Kyle. There you go. I'll send that sent. There you go. I'll just put here. I'll put here. Let me know. So I'll leave it. I think for that. There you go. So that's another comment. We'll leave his chat window open so we can actually just slide that across. It's surprising how a 27-inch monitor is not enough when you're doing this. Actually, what you need is two monitors. You need one for actually activating their trailer on your control screen for the creator room in Streamyard. And then if you're keeping an eye on some social media, like X, like for example, DMs, it's almost a 3-monitor setup, which is quite unusual. People did say actually with Streamyard, it's handy to have a 2-monitor setup, but there you go. I do have another one over there, actually, a 32-inch monitor that's sat with the PC, which is currently off. Oh, wait a minute here. So yes, daylight savings time happened in the US. Crenshaw, you are 180, as we say in Darts language in the UK. Bullseye, sir. You're right. Right, and we've got another one. Hey, who we got here? Hey, Tank Ferret. Ahoy, he says, all you sagacious scallywags. Oh, what we got here? Another guy who battles with lexicon. We like a bit of the old lexicon in our parts of the indie comic space. We always try to push the barrier of language. Sometimes, you know, in the drama stuff on the internet, we can very quickly go down to the lowest common denominator, and we don't want to do that. If people want to talk, you know, in that sort of dramatic way, and we know about all the drama farming, that we don't want that. We like people who are aspirational with the lexicon, with the language, with the lingo, as they say in the UK. We want, after all, we're writers, aren't we? We're storytellers. So let's reach, you know, let's test one another. And sagacious. Now I don't know what sagacious means, so you know what I'm going to do now, don't you? I'm just going to go here. I'm going to type it in, sagacious. Hey, you say, yes, folks, there's even limitations to my grasp of the culinary, literary kind of stuff. So sagacious. Yeah, hey, Tank Ferret, you start something now. Sagacious. Sagacious. I'm going to put here, what does this mean? Now, don't tell me now, Tank. I want to find out for myself. Sagacious, sagacious meaning having or showing understanding. Well, we try to show understanding and the ability to. Well, I want to learn more now. Oh, but they've got a privacy box in the middle of there. Sagacious, having or showing understanding and the ability to make good judgments. Well, that's so. Yeah, I'd say so. That's what we're trying to do in the indie coach community, isn't it? We're trying to show good judgment. You know, who's got the best business plan? Can we share that business, like that kind of that business plan? If everybody's got a different business plan in indie comics, and if you haven't written an indie comics business plan, we'd ask gently, why not? We've written 9 business plans, one of which is the magnum opus. That was the old word I was thinking of for Crenshaw, after all, or omnibus, because I tell you what, if you can move a boulder, that's an opus kind of thing. That's what we're doing with our indie comics, isn't it? We're pushing the boulder for our creative suffering. Pushing the boulder is creative suffering. We heave by Hercules himself, by Heracles. We suffer to move that boulder, you know, and it is a slow process, and we need to help others. It's not I, it's not Kyle, it's not me. It's we, all of us. That's what separates the indie comics from the not so big two now. Yeah, if you still like the mainstream, great. You never know. We might buy some more mainstream comics in the future. We wouldn't rule it out. But what did it for us was Crisis for DC, and what did it for us on Team Red Marvel was Heroes Reborn. That's all we can say is leave it there. That Bobby in the shower moment, Dallas season 2. Well, he's in the shower, and that previous season, it was all a dream. And you think about that Crisis and all those years, all those creators, all those writers, storytellers, printers, engravers, colorists, letterers, all those genius ideas, Julie Schwartz, all of it, the Schusters, all of it wiped out, vaporized. Some might say by one writer's hubris, and a few people thought, yeah, we'll get a good short-term boost, and you get the short-term boost, but it devalues the previous comic collection, so they're just like rare earth minerals after that. But that continuity is line of continuity is broken. Kyle, stop there. It sounds like you need to lay down on the couch with a psychiatrist and say, tell us about the Crisis. Also tell us about your father. That is an area of exploration. We get it. So yes, ahoy all your sagacious scallywags. Finish that one. And it's all about the giving. It's about the learning. It's about the helping one another. That's what separates indie comics from the not so big two. There's a whole world of comics. And we saw a comment the other day that said, what is professional? I'll tell you what professional is. If Crenshaw, the writer, rocks up with Banker's art, that to me would be professional. I could see myself backing something like that. What, rather than Batman? The latest 100th edition of Batman, Kyle? You jest, surely, Azrael. Do I look like I'm jesting? No blinking. That's what I want. I used to. Iron Man was the last guy, our last holdout. But then when Heroes Reborn happened, we were over with it. And luckily, a comic called Strangehaven, The Goat by Gary Spencer Millage, Strangehaven, saved us regarding comics. It's independent. We met the guy at a hotel at the Starkist Hotel in Nottingham. It was sponsored by Page 45, probably the best comic shop in the world. And they hosted it and sponsored this indie comics event. And we met Dave Sim and Gerhard of Cerberus fame. Gerhard's a nutter gent, does these engravings of backgrounds, and Dave Sim does this aardvark, or he did, because it was 1 to 300, and he was just closing in on the issue 300. I think he had about another 10 to 20 issues to go, and we were thinking, Dave, don't have an accident, take out life insurance. But even life insurance wouldn't have got the final few issues kind of complete. We needed Dave alive, so we're thinking, don't have an accident, be careful, get somebody else to drive you, all that sort of stuff. And, this was the era of Flaming Carrot, Concrete by Chadwick. The Watchmen was just come out. So Strangehaven came out in the aftershock, the nuclear aftershock of the Watchmen. And Gary Spencer Millage was the nicest guy, utterly nice guy. And we said we're trying to do our own comic ourselves. And he just reached inside his little portfolio, pulled out some stuff regarding hints and tips from an article he'd done for people who wanted to create their own comic. Advice for indie creators, funny enough. And we're talking, what we're going back now, we're talking mid-90s to probably 97, that sort of era. Back when we just about ready to get our first Mac and use Photoshop. Both of which had pried from our dead hands. That's how we felt about that. And we'd scan our pencil artwork in and use Photoshop to enhance it or give it a different quality, the coloring, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about oil paint or terps getting into your fingerprints and cracking your skin. It's a very different medium. But we took the hybrid approach of let's absorb the technology with our pencils, so you get the human touch with the pencils, and then you got the computer touch to kind of like, I wouldn't say elevate it, but how else do you compare yourself to a Marvel method where you've got maybe 10 people on a production line? How do you equal that? How do you equal that in terms of value? Well, you get the computer to be if we're going to aspire to be Michelangelo, why don't we? Angelo didn't just work on his own. He had 2 assistants helping him prep the paper or prep even some of the line work to actually to give him a basic template to do his work with, just assistant level work, like inkers in comic books. They used to have people who do the spot blacks you know, while the creator would do the main lines and link the characters, but you'd have an assistant who'd fill in all the blacks. Jack Kirby's wife, Roz, would fill in Kirby's blacks for him. You know, stuff like that. You know, so again, it's teamwork. And Angelo was a team. He was a we as well. Ironically, eh? We, eh? We. Yes, we. So, yes, scallywags we all are. Indie comic creators. Yes, nearly 30 years. Has it been that long, Crenshaw? I really should put myself in on mute, disappear for a minute after I've finished rolling my eyes out, and come back to the chat, come back to the camera and say, all right now, I'm fine. Hey, I was raised by women. I'm you know, slightly sensitive about our age. Hey, I like flowers, roses. Is it okay for guys to like flowers? I like flowers. Come on. Dandelions, when we were younger, it's roses now. And coffee cake. Kyle, Azrael, we don't need to know all that sort of secret information. You know what I mean? Yeah, you'll have the police turning up at your door saying, hang on a minute, you're not allowed to like dandelions in the UK. Kyle, don't be like that. So anyway, moving swiftly on. Yeah, it's about 30 years ago, Crenshaw. And Dave's a lovely guy. He did a drawing for us in the beginning of the Church and State Volume 1 book I bought, and he said, you know, something humorous. I think we'd take it up just a bit of his time. We can chat a bit, you know. Raised amongst a big family of women, so you get used to listening, but you also pick up tips on how to talk as well, you know. So we are actually shy, just in case anybody's wondering. No, really. And no, yeah, Gary Spencer Village was very nice. He had his 4 books of Strange Haven there, 1 to 4, and crikey, we wish he'd have bought them, then we could have them signed. But being the kind of think about it kind of guy that we are, we actually we said we'll have another look at them. We'll go to page 45 and buy them from there, and we did eventually. We just wish we'd have actually bought them then, because Gary could have signed them. But it's utterly nice guy. In fact, what was the stuff he was using to make Strange Haven back when indie comics were difficult? Crenshaw and Tank and Bianca, if you're still there, just give you another wave. And you know, back then indie comics were hard because you had to print maybe 1,000 to 2,000 up front. You had to gauge or guess how many of these you think you could sell, and you print 1,000 to 2,000 comics up front, you know that you're looking at a print bill of thousands. You know what I mean? So you know, it's almost like an educated guess on how many you're going to print. And what was he using? He was using, I think he used like the Adobe Suite, Illustrator, Photoshop, of course, Illustrator. And was it InDesign or Quark Express? It might have been InDesign, because that was just starting to give a bit of competition to Quark Express back in the day. And I'll tell you what, his design on Strange Haven is excellent. If you haven't checked it out, go to millage.com. Gary Spencer Millage. Do it a Google search, or a kind of DuckDuckGo or DuckDuckGo search, and look for millage.com. And Millidge, and I have him down as the greatest of all time, because he was doing it when indie comics were difficult. You know, it kind of appears like Dave Sim, Cerberus, the Flaming Carrot, Chadwick on Concrete. So he was, you know, and obviously the Watchmen was booming at the time. So you had to be good to stand out back then. And from the very first issue, it's like a combination between, I'd describe it then, Twin Peaks, David Lynch, yeah. And unfortunately, I think we've lost recently, yeah. And The Prisoner, I think, was a very big, you know, the village that you can never leave, and the surreal quality of Twin Peaks, which we've watched a good deal of. Actually, we never got to finish Twin Peaks. Actually, it'd be nice to finish that with a bit of coffee cake and a cup of tea, and maybe some good company. And another one we'd say is Emmerdale Farm. It's now called Emmerdale in the UK, which is a soap opera about this farming village, really, but they've dropped the farm part of it and just call it Emmerdale. So it's a bit more appealing to the kind of countryside folks as a whole. So it's not just for farmers, you know. Yeah, it's we say it's like that, and it's got almost that that Hammer House of Horror, that where you go down the slipstream and the mist starts to appear, and you drive into that slipstream road, and hang on a minute, where's this village again? You drive around, you think, oh, if I'll just go back out, but you find you can't get out, and you're almost like stuck or lost. That dream you have, whereby you don't know where you are, or or remember where your car keys are, or where you park your car. No, Azrael, that's just you. We need to get some earlier nights then. But anyway, Strangehaven, do check it out, millage.com. And I tell you what, he's still got Phasmil back issues, and we'd start at #1. And it's so organic, and it's got lovely black and white interiors with mezzotint and grey tones, and his style evolves over the, what is it? He goes well into double figures. If you want to catch up his latest information, he's on X. He's on X, but he's also on Patreon as well, where you can. There's a free tier where you can find out about what he's doing. He's after about 20, 25, 30 years as a Crenshaw. He's saying that basically he's on the home stretch. I've been with this guy for nearly 30 years. Yeah, and he's now on the home stretch. He's got another 56 pages, so I would say another 2.5 issues, possibly 3 issues he can stretch it to. And he's going to take the anthology that did like a preliminary finish. It was called Meanwhile, and the creator of the Meanwhile anthology said, listen, Gary, you need to finish the story. We need you to finish the story. You want to finish the story. How about you do it in bite-sized chunks? Yeah. And then Gary agreed to this, because obviously we're all wanting him to finish the story. I mean, when you've been with somebody a long time, like that, decades, it's all about, well, you're involved with them. At the risk of sounding dubious, you are emotionally involved with that creator, with the product. Kismet, love, destiny, fate. What do we call it? I mean, we don't know why we like something sometimes. It's almost like the great Nexus tells us, and we are compelled to obey. And we would say we had to follow it. And then Gary's like, he's been convinced to do it in chunks in this Meanwhile anthology, and but we can't touch it. Azrael, you sound fussy. I mean, do you eat your greens? We do eat our greens, actually. We have them all in the smoothie. It's easy that way. Something like 2 or 3 veg and two fruits, just to offset the earthy taste of the vegetables, and we'd say, yeah, I mean, we couldn't touch it. Why? Because we'd collected Strangehaven as paper comics, individual pamphlets, floppies, whatever you want to call them. So we've actually been in touch with Gary quite a few times. Said, Gary, if you look, when we bought Strangehaven, it's something like $2.99. Now with inflation, it's going to be, well, let's say he did it for $4.99. We said to Gary, use print on demand. We'll pay you double £5. We'll pay you £10 to create Phasmil Strangehaven comics as it would have been at the time, with all the editorials and that. Just make the editorials up, do it tongue in cheek, put in some letters pages at the back, and yeah, to be honest with you, we'd probably go triple on the cover price of a Marvel comic. We'd give him 15 per issue for this comic, the GOAT. We'd do it. So I know that sounds like a lot for one creator to actually talk like that, but it's almost 30 years of being involved with this comic. We want it finished, and part of you wants things to never finish. But he's on the home stretch, so he's using Patreon to help fund the final 2 or 3 issues, and we suspect he's going to include it all as a trade. We'd probably buy the trade, but we so wish. One of the key things about Strangehaven is the covers are fully painted in acrylic, but each issue has a photograph, which is almost like a portal, a Nexus gateway to the story inside. And we'd love each quote unquote issue of 24 pages, whatever you'd consider it, to have its own cover. And we're thinking, Gary, please do the indie comics. He might do the trade first, and that might give him the confidence to do Phasmil individual copies. We're still going to campaign respectfully that he does the pamphlets version. What we suspect the trade will come first when he finishes it. Okay, enough of that. That's a lot of sales talk, but It's sincere, you know what I mean? Nearly 30 years, says Crenshaw. Oh, wait a minute, Tank. Let's have a look at that Tank guy, Tank Ferret. I've returned from Dadland alive. Ah, Master Tank, you have returned from Dadland alive. Well, respect. Well, what does it mean to be a dad? You know what? I tell you what about dads. You know what I like about John's Longbox and Heroic Tales? He's clearly advocate. We know in the press, and you think, and you see in adverts that guys always suck, and maybe some guys do suck. But let's talk about it positively here. About 8% of the guys out there are really nice. They really are nice, and they do anything for you. You know what I mean? They like using these hands. We love using our hands, and as long as you're using our hands, you'll be a happy guy, or certainly more satisfied and fulfilled. You know, if you're an artist, use your hands. If you're a builder, like John Boer of John's Longbox fame, he's a construction worker, and how he does that, all his multimedia YouTube channel stuff, best part 7 days a week, construction worker, and he's doing his own comic, and he's hiring people like Renzo Rodriguez to do the sunshine artwork. I mean, whatever energy he's got, we actually think he may be the patriarch, maybe an atomic powered hero in disguise. You know, we just, there's something there. If he could actually bottle his energy and sell it, we'd be first in line for it. You know what I mean? We could certainly do with a bottle of that. I mean, he'd become an instant millionaire. So no, we've got a great respect for John's Longbox. But the whole patriarch thing is talking about comics from the Bronze era and the good old days, and why not? We loved the Bronze era. When we were youngling, Bronze era was the thing, Ross Andrews' Spider-Man. Go on, feel me out. Come on, feel me out. Test me. And our Batman was our first comic. It was actually Jim Apato's Batman, I thought Aparo was very emotive. People love Neil Adams, respect him, respect that, his photographic quality and that. But for us, Aparo was more emotional. And that Mr. Freeze cover where Batman's coming out the cryo freeze chamber and he's got popsicles, icicles off his face and that, off his cape and that, his costume. Fantastic, Mr. Freeze, looking like victories, his hairs, and he's got his freeze gun. And and our first Spider-Man wasn't actually US format. In the UK, we had our own imprint. The UK wing of Marvel was Marvel UK, and they had black and white A4 size and A4 size. And we had color covers, but black and white interior. When they first started, there was like duotone. You had orangey tomato reds for the Spider-Man Weekly, and you had green duotone for the Mighty World of Marvel Hulk Weekly, which Spider-Man first starred in, but then they split off and Spider had his comic with Daredevil and I think the Avengers, and the Mighty World of Marvel, I think they had Hulk and it's gone back a while. But this first started with Matt, and we're thinking if we had a comic, would we use Matt? I mean, there's another sub. Don't get me started on paper. Me and paper, I could smell it all day long. You know those old comic shops and books? There was one in the Midlands area and where we're based in the Great Nexus. And it had comics, old newspapers, old magazines, and just the smell as you walk in, it's intoxicating. And that's where we actually caught a lot of our back issues from. That and a market in the north part of the Midlands, and we were getting stuff for 10 pence each. You know, the old Mighty World of Marvels, the Avengers Weekly, the Superheroes Weekly, Fantastic Four comic weekly, Titans Weekly, which was a landscape format with 2 USA pages fit side by side, black and white. Landscape's great, very sexy format. However, if you keep handling them too much, the hinges, because it's on such a short hinge, the weight of the paper inside gradually decouples from the shorter than average hinge. But our first Marvel UK was Spectacular Spider-Man Comic Weekly, and it featured the Big Whale, the Rocket Racer, who's got Spider-Man by the neck, and it's Ross Andrew, who somehow makes a very emotive face just by using the spider eyes. You got the body language and the emotions of the face through the eyes. Very underrated. I guess he would be a disciple of John Romita, Ross Andrew, but we love him. Him and Jim Mooney, we've got a lot of Yeah, that bronze era with a lot of with a lot of admiration for, a lot of affection for, would say, Return from Dadland. Hey, Tank Ferret, we're glad you survived. What we got here? We're saying here, oh, I'm just working and lurking. Hey, Tank Ferret. That's the whole beauty of podcast and vcasting. Video podcasting is that you can lurk, you can listen in, and we'll do the talking and you can be our ears. Let's do it, teamwork. Hey, loving the talk. Hey, we're just going down nostalgia road. We sense that people like Crenshaw, FAO, and people like Tank Ferret, there's certain people that you're from a similar era. Like we've guested on, actually after doing our show last week with Fuzzbox, we hopped on to without anything to eat in between, and we hopped on Devil Flyer with Rex and Shadowhawk. I had a great time with those guys. They're probably similar sort of age to us, similar sort of era, that kind of bronze era. And you just got the same chat, the same vibe, the same sense of humor in that. And you know what, you could listen to Rex for hours. He's got so many stories to tell. He's got his original John Businger art. He collects Pez's. A Pez dispenser. We sure we had a Woody Woodpecker one when we were younglings, and you pulled the head back, which is pretty gruesome, isn't it? And you get the old Peb sweet coming out of it, yeah. And he's got all the different kinds of Pez's. You have to see his Pez collection, to me. Hey, and that's the thing about indie comics. Not enough indie comics creators look into the merch. That's something we'll probably have a show on at some point, and that we take note of the hundreds of thousands of indie comics campaigns now we've looked at. And the first, we look at the comic first, quick overview of what it's about, plot, premise. The covers, they've got the variant side of things covered. For the variant covers, that's extra income. Okay. The mainstream guys tend to go a bit overboard on it, especially it's almost punishing for comic retail outlets. But with indie comics, indie comics have owned it with a capital P. They made it into an art form. I mean, you take Recon and the little one, some great variant covers, which we'll have a little look at in a little while. So, thanks, Tank, for saying love the talk. We like you. You can come around again. You're invited to come around again. We like you. We like your style, we tell you. Right then, Kyle, how about we just have a little look at, we'll do a bit of an intro here for Sean Woods. If you don't know anything about him, we've been looking at his Recon and the Little One for a little while. He's at Sean Wood footnote writer, or if you want to contact him on X. He's a husband, father of two, comic book writer, marathon. He's a marathon runner, so he's in it for the long haul, I guess. As an indie creative, he's got the stamina to see indie comics through. Maybe he can come and help us, Crenshaw, with moving that boulder. He'd be a good one to have on the team. He'd be one of your Olympic runners, wouldn't he? You'd have an athlete on your team. I'd be the potter, and Crenshaw would be a Spartan with the sword. How's that for an ancient Greek trinity? We get Tank involved as well. We're not sure what we get Tank involved in. I don't know. Maybe he could be a Phaestus in the background. I don't know, forging something in the. Maybe we could keep the fire going. I don't know. He could light the Olympic torch. I don't know. We're just spitballing here. So yes. Writer of Recon and the Little One. It's Samurai Jack, apparently, meets Wall-E, the Pixar movie, which we haven't seen. We should see that one. It's kind of an eco-themed movie, isn't it? And it's all about saving the last girl on Earth against zombies. We say bullseye on the target audience there, Sean Wood, and we're sold on the concept. And this is one we're going to be backing. Really, Azrael? Yeah, $4.95. For that kind of art. We'll show that in a minute. It's absolutely robot zombie-tastic. And the little girl just needs to be saved, save a cheerleader, save the world. And what's the other thing in this we like? Let's just turn off that heater before we melt. Got that and a yak cardi. And it's the pink teddy. That's what we're reaching for. It's got this little pink teddy in there. And Azrael, you're a softie. That goes against your hard man of indie comics image. You're saying you want to buy Recon and the Little One just for that little teddy? Well, who can say, eh? What reason? Why What reasons do we use to buy any comic, you know? So anyway, we'll have a little look at that in a minute. So who better to tell us about the thunk, the aye, ver, and the splort than the creator himself? Hello there, Sean Woods. We might have to do that again, you know, with Sean. Let's see if he's no, we haven't got him yet. We've checked our DMs. He's not there yet. It's daylight saving time, isn't it? We'll have to have a wee check of that. There we go. That's that. There we go. There we go. I don't know what we need to do actually is actually open up this cast to maybe another stream. Maybe we could stream to X, and maybe we could stream to what's that other one? Maybe Instagram and Facebook. Go do a 3 or 4 streamcast, Crenshaw and Tank, you know, to actually go wider with the audience and pick up more followers and get them to consolidate. So they might follow us on this on YouTube to help boost our numbers. If we go a little bit wider, go wide and build. You know, just a thought, you know, it's again, obviously, the wider you go with your network, the more you can build. I mean, the one thing you may have noticed actually on our X channel, we've really had a big boost in numbers. And we had this thought, we thought, you know what? We thought, hang on a minute. Yeah, we thought, hang on a minute here. We thought, why don't you look at the other things you're interested in, like the gym, healthy eating? Well, we have to. You reach 29, you've got to do something. You can't abuse your body like you did when you were a teenager. You know, when you could go up and downstairs like a rabbit bouncing around the house. It doesn't work that way when you're a bit older. You got it's almost like maintenance. You know, you like your car. You think, oh, I could really do with an MOT or service. You know, and if you actually talk about your interests that you have, you can actually create your network by going wider as a human being. Be cosmopolitan. Why not have followers in India, China, Japan? India's beautiful. Japan's exotic, you know, and every nation's got its individual characteristic. And if you look at the comics from those countries, they've all got their own style. And you never know, if you get 10 people that you connect with in China, it's got 1.3 billion people, you know. We should be, I think, in Russia, places like that. I mean, we should be, and we should hold our leaders to this. Actually, we should be looking to make connections, build trade relations. You know what I mean? And hold them to account. Think about those little guys. We just, a lot of people I see online, they're trying to build connections. We've had people from India join us, Japan, and places like that. You know, and we're thinking, you know, you're missing out on millions, potentially millions, maybe billions of people by only looking at the UK market, by only looking at the US. I mean, obviously, the US is a very big, important comic market, but France is quite a substantial comic market. Italy is, Spain almost, and Japan. Well, you're talking billions of dollars in terms of market. You know, just tens of millions of people. It's actually ingrained into their very culture. So we're thinking, you know, if you can actually access that through networking, there's always somebody somewhere that you don't expect that will like your artwork. Let's say there's, I don't know, you appeal to 20 different countries and you only get one from each country. That's 20 sales. 20 times £5, that's 100. That can be a difference between making your crowdfunding target and not, you know. You start rolling in the merch. Well, I'll just have a badge and a t-shirt. Yeah, but what about the statues that are just becoming a thing? What about, I don't know, maybe a poster, you know, a key ring, stickers, a colouring book? You see where we're going? The wider you can go with your network and your revenue model, go wide, yeah? And then you've got the chance for all these, we call it raining from heaven pennies, to actually trickle in, yeah? And there's a chance there that you could be asleep while somebody's giving you money. What, Azrael, are you saying that when you sleep, people will give you money? Well, yes. If somebody orders, let's say somebody orders our comic from Gumroad for, let's say $2.99. Let's say the digital version is $2.99, and you know that's $2.99 you've got while sleeping. You didn't have to put your shoulder to the boulder right quite there. If you've done all the pre-work for that, you've already done the shouldering to the bouldering, then that's a chance to we'd say make money while you sleep. So you potentially double, triple, or quadruple your revenue while you sleep. Because if you consider it, you're asleep for 8 to 10 hours, 9 hours, that's a working day's worth of revenue while you're sleeping. Look to the green light, Azrael. Now do we see? And write a business plan. Listen, if you have ears, get a basic framework offline on a search for a business plan. A dead simple one to begin with. And we'd say to you, with all due respect, and we've done this 9 times, we've done a Magnus Opus business plan with up to 500,000 words on it. We've done one that can fit on a single sheet of paper. We've looked at the Prince of Wales Trust for their business plan format and 1 or 2 others. We've done 9 in total. And we would say with forecasting, financing, potential places to go and get grants and awards, we research this very deeply and widely. We'd say to you, get a really simple 3-step, 10-step, no more than 20-step business plan and look at it. And don't make it a big deal. Just open it up in Microsoft Word or Apple Pages, if you like using a Mac. We just like the Serenity. We've got a PC over there, but the Mac doesn't make any noise. It doesn't sound like a hairdryer. And we'd say to you, look at the 10 or 20 questions and just put the first thing that goes into your mind. Who's your target audience? How much do you want to make? What's the comic about? You know, what's the who? What's the what? What's the why? And fill it in. What resources do you need? Who's your printer going to be? Yeah. What's your merch going to be? How can you drive revenue? You can just have 1 or 2 things, a handful of things, or more. Yeah. Will you start off? Or will you experiment? One thing Rex Devilfly does, he's got a big list of merch he wants to do, and every time he does something, it goes tick. I've had got that kind of merch. Tick. I've done my next merch. Tick. I've had got t-shirts. Tick. I've had got key rings. Tick. I've had got stickers or colouring books. Yeah. And then he can look at the data and see, right, for my character, Devilfly Momentum, which bit of merch worked best? Was it the t-shirt? Was it the keyring? Was it the stickers? Yeah. So really, we'd say we don't know how many. We don't ask this because one of the things we don't want to seem come across as pompous, full of hubris, or we don't come across as too imposing. But we earnestly and gently suggest that people do a business plan. Yeah. And it sounds very serious. You know, they've got that eternal debate, haven't you, in indie comics? Some people, they just want to sit and do art. And for them, working from home, they see might work quite well because all they've got to think about is drawing Wolverine or X-Force. They don't have to worry about the other stuff apart from their end of year taxes. Yeah. But the mainstream or not so mainstream companies now will do all the heavy lifting on coloring, lettering, payments, and taking artwork to the printing press, etc. A model that's been around since what, the 1930s. But we're now living in the age of print on demand, a giant comic shop called the internet, and you have to. A lot of people, they want to stick to that old model, and we understand that. Parts of us wants to do that model and visit comics on the newsstand, and maybe one day our comic could be on that newsstand. You know, we'd happily have newsstands back. You know. And we look at people like Peter Simeti, who's kind of almost merged the past with the present of Turner Comics. Yeah, 19 years he's been doing it, and he's probably using one of the handful of traditional printers out there. You know, with glossy covers, but the matte interiors with the old printer style, and that was newsprint, you call it, yeah. And he's fusing newsprint with the traditional way comics were printed. However, when he moves to digital, he's got digital products, and he actually puts an old comic style filter, you know, with all the kind of, the kind of impure paper that there used to be, you know, because they used cheaper paper back in the day. All that, all those imperfections and impurities actually give a traditional comic its character and its value, and you can smell it, yeah. But he puts that as a kind of filter over his digital stuff, so it's less sterile looking and less coldy, appealing to people obviously who are nostalgic and bought the comics back then. Somebody who's maybe a teen and maybe 21 these days probably isn't interested in that. They're just quite happy with a vibrant, solid or gradiented color with all the icing, sugar, bells and whistles on an iPad, or reading on their phone by subscription. Maybe they don't want to pay £5. Maybe they don't want to own it. Maybe they will actually want to rent the stuff, and maybe they'll be happy owning nothing and renting. I'm not sure people of the Bronzing era would quite agree. But so there's that tension point between the old and new. But we like about Peter Simeti and Alterna Comics, he's got all his bases covered. I mean, this guy is a Jedi master. He's been working on his business model and his business plan for nearly 20 years. We've got a huge amount of respect for Peter Simeti. He's humble, quietly spoken, and we like the style. And he's passionate about his comic, King Cryptic, which we have 1 to 4 of digital, because again, shipping from America is so expensive. But his digital comic costs £1 for King Cryptic. Old school storytelling, great art, great writing by Peter. And it just, we're thinking, how can we not back that? So we've got 1 to 4. We're probably going in for 5 to 9, and he's currently got a crowdfunder going as well for 10 to 13. So he's broken into double figures. And we have a lot of respect for anybody who hits double figures. We've got our own recognition awards for people who break into double figures. And we did our own recognition awards a while back. It took us absolutely hours. These took weeks to prepare. And we've had to do them in Mego toy style waves because there's that many. I won't say how many there actually are, but we've recently logged on our X and on YouTube the next 25. So far we've got 1 to 50 in terms of awards we've given out. Everything from covers to interior artwork to concept to colouring to lettering to people who've got different styles of artists. We don't think in indie comics there's one great artist and that's all there is. What you've got is a balkanized tapestry in indie comics, a wild frontier where it's valid. It's valid, folks, to have more than one business plan, to have your own way of approaching things. Crenshaw's comic would be very different to Bianca's, but can you imagine them fused together as one indie comic? And that's the beauty of indie comics. Two guys and gals can come together, a lady and gentleman come together and create something awesome. And say, I respect your work. What do you think? We can maybe do a project, yeah? And could you imagine it? What did we say yesterday? Or the other day we said, could you imagine Project Neosis and Phenomenova teaming up? We don't think the time continuum of the Dark Nexus could withstand the strain. Can you imagine Vaughan Coleman and Paul Thayer together on a team up? I mean, the possibilities would be seismic. Look at somebody like Eric July and Rennie with her cosmos. He's got, his ISOM. She's got her cosmological style that she's got, kind of fantasy, yeah. It's very lush, very impressive. She only looks 20, but she's actually been creating comics for 20 years, which is impressive. Hey, we'd swap. Just the confidence and the feminine energy. That's what you get in indie comics. The days of comic shops and male-only attendees, all that's gone. You can be male or female and approach, and we can work together. Look at people like, is it Heather Valley? She's got 13 followers on YouTube. She comes on X. She says, runs a poll. I've got Ditko or somebody else. Who are you going to pick? I voted for Ditko. A few of us did. So she does an article on Steve Ditko, and we couldn't resist the dark arcane master himself, Spider-Man Bally. Primitive elegance, dextrolicious acrobatics, Spider-Man versus the Vulture doing mid-air combat ballet. But the real killer, Spider-Man and the gang at college. Back when he was in high school, that's the Spider-Man for us, Ditko. And the ice cool Gwen Stacy giving Peter the treatment. Guys, women, gentlemen, ladies, we know how that goes, Azrael, have you got any wisdom on that subject to share? No, we refer you to Commander Data, who speaks to Picard, who says, "Ah, Commander Data, when we have some knowledge about women and ladies in general, we'll let you know." And with that, he turns on his heels and goes to the antechamber where you can actually analyze the Star Trek's data banks. So, what we got here? We've got more comments. Sorry, I was lost in the thing about the Nexus here. Its tendrils know not time and space. And let's check out some of the chat. We just got carried away. We were just in the zone, the zone. Us guys get in the zone. We forget about everything else because we're monotasking. I think sometimes ladies and people in general don't realize when we're in the zone, we're working with the hands or we're about our passionate subject. Is it allowed to get? Are you actually allowed to be passionate these days? That's a question for you guys out there and gals. Is it allowed for guys to be passionate? What I mean? You see guys in adverts that always tend to look a little bit silly or stupid. You know what I mean? Like, they've lost a spine or a brain. And then in the newspapers, it's always about the bad guys and what they've done wrong. And, I'm thinking that's what we were talking about earlier. John's Long Box and the Patriarch, 80% of guys are good guys. They go to work. They love their wives. They love their families. They're shoulder to the boulder. They love their kids. They love their partners. They do anything for them. Yeah, eager to please. Yeah. And, there's decent guys out there. They go and do a construction job and they come out and they're a good husband to their wife. And yeah, we all get crabby from time to time. It's hard to be Mother Teresa saint all the time. But, and most guys are decent. They do have a lot of stoic elegance, and they're trying their best. You know what I mean? What's that old Scottish poem by Robbie Burns? A man's a man for all that. So anyway, let's look at some of the chat, Oh yes, Tank Prep's working and lurking. Let's have another look at him. He's loving the talk. Yes, well, we're glad. Oh, wait a minute, what we got here? We've got Benjamin Soto. Hello, Benjamin Soto. You've subbed. And you know what we do love is growth in the Indie Comics community. We're shoulder to the boulder, along with Crenshaw, our battle general. It's all about, leaning with that shoulder. We're going to go left or right. Let's get in there, my son. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. Heave. I like to do a bit of that. You know what I mean? And that's what guys will do for you. If you've got yourself a decent guy, one of the decent 8%-ish, he'll put his shoulder to the wheel for you. Have confidence. Don't doubt it. You don't have to dream of drama, make drama. Talk to him. He'll probably do anything for you. Thank you for submitting your sub, Benjamin Soto. Thank you very much. We do appreciate. And yeah, we want to get this let's get it to 1,000 here. Do you guys want to know a secret? And it's one thing we like about Todd McFarlane. Azrael, are you being a bit random there? No, it's all connected. Or so we believe. Todd McFarlane can speak art, but he can also speak bank. He can speak business. So that's art, commercial art. Yeah. So he can sit in a room with a bunch of bankers and he can he'll tell them he'll ask them, what can you do for me? Because he's already on millions. Give me a deal. It doesn't matter who the business person is. He can speak bank. He can speak business. So, he'll sit there with a cup of water next to him and he'll turn up the air conditioner to hot, but he won't have a cup on the side of a desk. He said this is how he does it. And you've got somebody in a suit and he's there in a t-shirt and shorts and sandals, and he'll listen them out, and go nodding and that and say, yeah, he'll say something like, guys, what can you do for me? I've got this idea in my head. And, he's almost like Lieutenant Columbo. He's very, has this air of being unassuming, but, we wouldn't go in there without a glass of water. That's all we'd say, and he actually burns them out after an hour and says, okay, yeah, well, we can do a deal. Yes. Tell you what, come back with a better offer. We think we can do business, but we need a slightly better offer. And either they'll either give in because they're thirsty by the end of the hour and cave to whatever his demands are or his business idea is, anything to get out, and obviously and get out of the torture chamber of doing a business deal with Todd McFarlane. He's a canny customer, but he's learned that, hasn't he, through not getting so good a treatment. Perhaps got a raw deal at Marvel. He's selling millions of Spider-Man and thinking, "Where's the money, man? Show me the sachet." In cat language, show me the sachet. Show me the sachet, man. Show me the sachet. That's what cats are saying when they meow at you and they're outside and the paws going on the conservatory window. They're saying, "The sachet time. I'm ready for my sachet." And if they're particularly crazy cats, they won't stop the meowing thing. So they're kind of hinting at you that they need the sachet. So anyway, yeah, we'd say that having that balance of commercial and art is what you can have a business plan and a creative plan and fuse them together. We have a creative plan and a business plan. Yeah. And business plan number 10 will be taking all the jigsaw puzzles, so all the jigsaw pieces, and put them together to make a painting. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to do a business plan if you've got a good business instinct like Tom McFarlane. We don't know if he's got a business plan, but he's certainly a natural at business, really. And that's why he went from Marvel and formed Image and got 6 other people with him to create the Magnificent Seven of Image Comics, so they could take on the establishment, strength in numbers kind of thing. Yeah. And they went through the little bit of a problem where they all went off and did their own thing. Jim went off to Jim Lee went off and did sold his company off to DC, and then he's the president or vice president there. And then you've got Liefeld, who's done work for Marvel and Deadpool. Well, it's where the money goes. To me, it's where the money is. I understand why they did it. Me, I'd have liked it if they just stayed as the Magnificent Seven. But in a sense, if you look at what Image are now, they've got so much diversity and uniqueness and variety in the comics. Ultimately, the bigger battle has been won by Image. And really, the even bigger battle that we're winning right now is Image Comics. Indie comics are booming. We're picking up from where these so-called indie companies. Can you call it Image Comics an independent company? You know what I mean? Are they independent comics? Are they a corporation? Which are they? Just a question thrown out there to you. But yeah, you look at the rise of Tom Holland and the fall when he lost a lot of millions, and he was born again by actually doing the obvious thing, which was make Spawn a universe, create 7 Spawn comics. This is your golden Charlie and Willy Wonka chocolate factory style golden ticket, isn't it? It's your golden goose. Lay some golden eggs, 7 golden eggs. You've got 7 Spawns in a Spawn universe. It seems the most obvious thing to do, and now he's gangbustering the money. He must be, and he's got Todd McFarlane Toys. He pushed his frontier into that wild frontier of toys, which were of a certain type back then. You'd have 1 or 2, and they weren't very specialist. They didn't have the detail. He amped the detail, and I'll tell you what. He just. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. I've caught the name. I've got a message from Sean. Hello, Sean. And put here. I've just did a quick chat with Sean. Hello, Sean. Good to hear from you. I'll put here. Don't worry, and don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel embarrassed. Nothing to feel embarrassed about. We're not here to punish creators. We're, life happens. We're not a corporation. We have a heart. Just put here, we'd love to have you on. Send the link now. See, this is the beauty. Real human beings. No affectations, no pretensions. Tonight, I've just reined myself in a bit. I'm just having a nice cozy fire chat with you. Yeah. As genuine and as earnest and as enthusiastic as I can be, And we do have some experience about comics and that. I'll just send the link now to him. See if he's up for it. He might feel a little bit embarrassed, but I'm not worried about that. He shouldn't be either. You know what I mean? He's a good lad. He's a family man, and he's got a great comic. There you go. 8:18. There you go. That was 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that was 8:16, 8:18. We've got that. That's it. I'll send it again. That's it. I'll just put here. Good lad. Great stuff. No, we're not worried about that. Rocking. I'm going to put here. Rocking. Put an apostrophe there. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. That's what we like here. We like that. See, give him a chance to just, hey, we didn't press the button on live last week. So, stuff happens. You know what I mean? We're not going to put the noose around anybody. I tell you what, we'd be the first one nailed to the cross. So, yeah, let me just, we got Benjamin as subbed. And, hey, Crenshaw, rubbing shoulders with Ben. And, hey, Crenshaw, it's going, hey, some brother. Homie talk going down in the chat. We like that. That's fantastic. Hey, Crenshaw, we like that. And this one here. Planning is something I need to work on. Here we go. That's what we like. That's what we like. That's what we like. Listen, Crenshaw, you said something about, was it about scheduling and that? I think you said last time. Hey, when we first did the 5 pillars of storytelling on X, we didn't have a profile picture. We didn't actually have a banner ad, a banner for our show, and then we filled it in with we like noir, so we filled it in with The Maltese Falcon, which is our favorite film, and then put Bogart as our profile picture because we're painfully shy. It may not seem like that, but we're shy all our lives, But you have to fight that. You have to really fight it. You have to fight it. You've got to fight it. Hey, planning something to work on. We'll talk about some more Crenshaw. Hey, here we go. Out to the stage. Hey, he is here.
I'm here. I'm so sorry.
We'll come back to your scheduling and planning, Crenshaw. I've got a bit of verbosity that can help you with on that. So we're just chatting there, Sean, Recon, and the little one. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so sorry I'm late. I got all kinds of mixed up.
What of it? Any way the wind blows, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. Bohemian Rhapsody. So Sean, Recon, a little one. Let's tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go back just here. We're going to just do this. Hey, we're so excited to have you. Right. Yeah, no problem. We have got the 5 pillars of storytelling. Azrael is going to chat to Sean Wood. And we're looking at art, comics, movies, games, and toys on our humble storytelling channel. We've got Sunday, 9th of March, Recon of a Little One, 7 p.m, Greenwich Mean Time. And that's what we're about. But we're really about the creator. So who are we again? Just to remind our listeners, we say hello there. We're all about the who, the what, the why, and the how of our guests, special guests. It's not about us. It's about them. We just hold up the mirror to their talent. We curate talent. We want to know people who've got talent, good people, decent people. And we're like Sean, we know him for that teddy bear and the little girl and the robot that's going to crunch zombie head in order to protect that little girl. That's how I know him. Now let's continue. So hello there. Welcome to 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live, where we talk about art, comics, movies, games, and toys. From the past, present, future. I'm your host, Azrael, and my secret identity is Prometheus, storyteller, artist, author of indie comics, indie creators, and the community. Our style is universal. We can be watched by creative families, creative adults, and creative younglings. Our motto is to listen, learn, and share. And we'll do one of the quotes by a manga legend. Now we are living in the age of comics as air, which applies to indie comics. I think it's extra especially. Now let's do our guest introduction. I've been looking forward to this. Sean Wood at Sean Wood Writer, a husband, decent guy, father of 2.
Yep.
And comic writer, marathon runner. So he's got the stamina to build an indie comics audience and get through creating an indie comic. And he's a gamer as well. Now we need to chat about that. We're going to find out what your favorite game. Oh God, I want to know now. What's your favorite game?
Oh man, the most recent thing that I've played that I enjoyed a lot was Space Marine 2. That one, and then I've got, oh man, mainly shooters. I mean, I've done a lot of what is it? I've actually done a lot of wrestling games, wrestling with my son, fighting
Oh,
games like Injustice. Injustice we've played since he was like 5. Play that all the time,
is
but
that with
it's mainly any kind of
DC? Is that with the DC characters?
yeah, yeah.
What does your son play? Which character?
Oh, pretty much any bad guy, anybody that looks mean and disgusting.
Which gives him the excuse to uh, smack up his dad?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And
Oh yeah.
which character do you play?
Actually, I like Hellboy a lot. The Ninja Turtles on there, which is like a downloadable character, and Sub Zero's in there too. Sub Zero is always a fun character to play as. So
Nice.
that's the ones I normally go with.
There you go. Yes. Which in the which game do we currently play? It's an old one. It's an old MMO. It's called City of Heroes.
Oh yeah.
And
I've never played, but I know what it is though. Yeah.
yeah, it's you can again. You can probably play with your son online. It's very retro. It's very retro. It's very old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't have cutting edge graphics when it started, but it's the level of customization. You've got an infinite hero wardrobe and an infinite character creator, and we like it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But, obviously, what you're playing is a little bit more modern. So let's continue our spiel. We do a bit of pros for our guests. We like to honor them and celebrate them. So Sean Wood is a writer of Recon of a Little One. It's Samurai Jack meets Wally test with saving the last girl on Earth against zombies. We say bullseye in the target audience, and we're sold. Azrael, are you going to back that one? You can believe your back on that. We're going to back that one. It's $4.95 in your English, British UK pounds, and we're going to back that one. And word on the street is, Sean, there's a few extra comic books being slipped in with that. Is that true?
Yep. Oh yeah. So comics. I think right now we're close to 150 backers. Once we get to 150, we'll have 12 free indie digital books. And I also have like on other tiers and stuff, my other stuff that I've done that can be bought as well, physical or digital. So plenty of other comics in there as well.
Tell you what, us Brits do like and it's a deal. And that, Sean, Recon of a Little One, is the art of the deal right there. That's how you drive value. Excellent. So we're sold. We're going to back that. We'll probably hit the back on that tonight.
Nice.
And we've backed another 3 things recently. One was Ronan, as we're saying to Crenshaw and Tank and Bianca in the chat. And we're going to put a banner on. We've got to do that. Hey, there we go. We're still learning Streamyard, by the way, but we're having fun with it. We like to put in the little chat things, little banners in there. And yeah, Ronan from Blue Shack Comics. We've done another one, The Line of Olympus.
Oh yeah,
got that one. And what is the other one we went for? The Big Boy. We actually went paper on this one. Difficult because of the shipping.
Right. Oh yeah.
Michael Bancroft and what's it called? I've been after it for a year. We need to get to bed earlier at night to actually so our brain doesn't start dissolving. What's it called? Loosened. And oh, what a cover! The one of the girl falling with the red hair. It's like a scene at the Matrix when the Trinity falls. And
nice. Yeah.
Oh, what a cover! We gave that a 5 Pillars of Storytelling Recognition Award. What a cover! And we actually plumped for the 9 trading cards as well. We couldn't really. We've got a thing about trading cards, but we don't discuss that in a public forum. So anyway, so let's finish our pros for you. So who better to tell us about the funk, and ver and splort than the creator himself? Hello there, Sean Wood.
Yeah, and splort is probably my favorite word in the whole book, and I've had a lot of comments about that splort too.
Yeah, the splort. It's a visceral sound that an auto writer is attuned to his dark art. It just feel uncomfortable just even saying. It's like, oh my gosh, am I next? I'm going to have my head on my shoulders by the end of this interview, you know?
Yep.
So the big 5 questions, Sean Wood. Well, hey, we're going to have a banner on that. So the big 5 questions, all about the who, the what, the why, and advice is question number 4. advice to younger people, because it's a creative family show, you know what I mean? And we love having so many family orientated guests on the show, which shows that, you know, that a lot of complaints in indie comics and comics in general from the big two, or the not so big two, as we say, Sean, is that why don't comics appeal to kids? You know, back when I was, you and me were probably buying Spider-Man, they probably
Right.
appeal to, yes, us as a teenager or as an adult, but also as a child. You know, that Disney movie back when Disney weren't Disney as they are now, because we don't talk about sex, politics, and religion on this show, but we know, yeah,
Right.
we're
Right.
speaking code, and and you know, before James T. Kirk went insane and took over the Enterprise, let's call it that, and basically, you know, you could have a Disney movie that the adult could enjoy on a nudge nudge wink wink level, but a child could enjoy it on the pure innocent level as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And there's that
Absolutely.
kind of transcendent kind of storytelling. You know, it can move through the ages of all the people who are watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll start off then with question number 1. Who is Sean Wood? Storytelling influencers, comic journey, movies, music. Let us have it, Sean.
Yeah. So I started out when I was, growing up. My dad had all these comics from the 60s and on. So I had anything that I could possibly want to read growing up that you could think of, all the big titles and everything, the big storylines. My favorite stuff's been from the 80s and really early 90s when I was growing up too, just because that was like a renaissance of comics with like Image coming out and, Jim Lee X-Men #1 and all that kind of stuff. So growing up, that's how I was. I was always a nerd at birth, basically. I didn't have a choice by my dad, which I'm fine with. And then growing up, when I became an adult and got married, we moved into a house, and down the street was my local comic shop when I was a kid, the same place. So I've been a weekend or a Wednesday warrior, ever since, for now about, I don't know, 14 years or so straight every Wednesday. Wednesday is not right without going to the comic book shop.
Oh
So,
man,
oh yeah. So I've always been a reader and always loved movies and everything. Love storytelling in general, and just didn't see an avenue into that. I always grew up knowing, oh, you have to, get the 9 to 5 job, have a family, be able to support that family, and nothing creative really. I didn't think there was an avenue to that for a job. Whereas when I found Kickstarter, then I realized, oh, I can actually do this on my own too. And one big thing that was like an aha moment of becoming a writer was I was reading Walking Dead Deluxe, and I got it because it's in color now, and I started collecting those, having the floppies because I love floppies. And I didn't realize, but in the back he has his outline for each issue, and it's just a simple like one line, one sentence per page of what he wanted to relay for the issue. And I was like, oh, I can start there, do an outline. And then from there, I did. Scott Snyder has a Best Jacket Press is his company, and he has a writing class.
yeah.
And so I took that writing class and
Did
tried to
you?
figure out, yeah, oh yeah, and try to figure out his way of doing things like the hero's journey and how to like write that and everything.
Joseph Campbell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then actually for the first year I met with Scott Snyder over Zoom calls
Did
once a
you?
month. Yeah. And that
Did,
was a
how,
lot of fun.
you felt a bit of awe.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. And it's nice when your heroes, those kind of people are actually nice and actually what you hope they are. Because a lot of times you meet your heroes and they are not, a good person at all. But
They say
uh,
never meet your heroes, don't they? They're the
yeah,
old saying.
exactly. So Scott Snyder, he is the greatest, the most humble guy. And really, if anybody in the writing world could be, a jerk, it could be him because he's written, so many things over the years. It's just insane just looking at his titles. Even from COVID on, he's had, I don't know, 30 plus titles probably. He just went insane and just kept on like writing and yeah, just came out of nowhere with all of these. So yeah, I did that for a while, and he looked at most of my scripts and gave me advice on how to better them and everything, and how to improve and do pitching for books. So if I want to try to pitch my book to, to a publisher or anything like that. And then since, yeah, I've been,
For the sales and the kind of commercial aspect, so that
yeah,
you, because obviously there are lots of creative people out there that got talent, but knowing how to get your shoulder in the door.
Yeah, trying at least. Yeah, give my the best avenue forward, and then I've written now The Fog Within 1 through 3, and I'm doing my first one shot with Recon and the Little One. So I'm just keep on going and keep on making things.
We suspect that Recon and the Little One has legs. A great one shot it will be. We've got good vibes about it. We think one shot, good idea. Test the idea, test the waters. Yeah, it's self-contained. Yeah,
Yep.
and then you get a good response to it, and it looks like you're getting a very good response to it.
Yeah.
If you smashed your funding goal, that's a slight hint, a slight clue that the marketplace that you've landed with a bullseye. You've got a robot, a little girl that needs saving, and zombies. And zombies are eternally hot, whether it's classic black and whites or Day of the Dead in a shopping precinct.
Yeah.
Political commentary, commercial commentary. Who knows? We just like people being eaten and driving around the precinct with bikes and guns, and you're trying to escape from the zombies, and you've only got 10% of your helicopter fuel left, and you've got to get up to the rooftop to actually get on the helicopter. Anyway, less about that.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's like the zombie thing, but you think you've got it, we think you've got it for that. All right, here we go. So target audience. So you've just alluded to the fact they just said a little bit about being created the journey of becoming a writer, and Scott Snyder, and learning a talent with the outline, the hero's journey, and being mentored, and obviously the commercial side of things to try and get your foot in the door with these companies. So what does he create is the big five. Question number 2, your elevator pitch, your convention table pitch. Let us have it.
Yeah, so it's easy for this one because you can stop somebody with 3 words: robots versus zombies. With this one, I mean, who doesn't like robots in general? Who doesn't like zombies? And then combine the two. But basically, the a little bit longer form of the pitch is the idea came from the best ideas for stories come from fears. That's actually one thing that Scott Snyder is big on. That's what he does a lot with his books. So I was trying to think of a fear. And my daughter, she's 4 years old, and I just had the fear of her growing up in this crazy world, and how, as a father, I want to protect her. And then how do I?
The last 3 years, which were quite dark in many ways.
Yeah. So with that, that's where I started, and then I turned it into a Samurai Jack like action with a Wally type bot that's protecting her against zombies. Because it is actually her and her stuffed bunny that she has in the book. That's where the idea came from.
Stuffed bunny, heartbreaker, man. Some people will back your book just for that straw bunny.
Yep.
Chat, we're not saying we're backing it just for that cute little pink teddy. We don't want those rumors to go out there. It'll spoil our hard man of the indie comics kind of image, but some people might. But yes, so you've got almost a quiet little character there, which is, we suspect that's going to be killer. That little pink guy.
Oh yeah, so really it's Recon the robot and the girl, but I mean the third main character is definitely that bunny. Because it brings that heartbreaking moments into the whole story, and there's a little bit of a backstory to it, of course, as you would imagine. But yeah, it's definitely the third character of the story.
There's almost a kind of a discrete animation. You look at the body language of the bunny through all the images we've seen. We think that's clever. Let's just call it that. We call that clever. That's you've created almost like a sleeping awake character. It's almost like an imaginary friend style character in the sense. Right then, tell us about this cover. What it seems to get your kind of sales elevator pitch, a convention table pitch, all in one image. Tell us about this cover.
Yeah, so this one was more like a propaganda poster. We imagined at first, and actually, the print that I have on the Kickstarter is it says like "We need you" in the background of this cover, so it's kind of a propaganda. And more playful too than the book itself. So it shows her kicking butt, and she's not necessarily kicking butt in the comic itself, but it was just a fun play on everything. It's them two versus the zombies, them two versus the world, basically. So yeah, just a lot of fun, a lot of open space, just to pop with that yellow background and everything. And I love that the logo really. The logo took a lot of work, but we wanted the little one part is like a sticker that's coming off of the Recon logo, and it's all rusted and messed up the metal of the Recon, and yeah, just a lot of fun.
We like that Star Wars weathering, which made the original trilogy so realistic after
Oh
the
yeah,
somewhat optimistic and some might call it sterile or uh, uh, too polished look of Star Trek, which was nice at the time. But then you get Star Wars, and then it almost appeals to the more realistic sense of more
right,
commitment kind of sense of, because we look at metal in the real life, it's not all showroom stuff. It's when it's been used. That's day-to-day lifestyle.
right.
Yeah. But what we like here is just first thing that popped into our brain after you started talking was he's protecting her, she's protecting the little pink guy.
Yep.
That's a lovely little triangle. Great
Yep.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
we like that. We absolutely
Thank
do
you.
like that. No problem. So, and we like the fact, one thing that stood out to us on the Kickstart, yeah, we actually went there. In fact, we do a background check on all our guests. It didn't work too well for Brother Dio and his Tomb of Reckoning comic because obviously our reconnaissance team got eaten and turned into pizza. One made it back alive and resigned, and so, but in your case, we just did it at a respectful distance with a telephoto lens, and we did like on your Kickstarter the actual fact that it was propaganda style. We need you, and indie comics is all about the we. We
Yeah.
often use that phrase on our X page because we view indie comics as a we thing. It's not it's not a Kyle thing. It's a we thing, yeah. And
Oh
by
yeah.
actually building together. And by doing crowdfunding, that's what indie comics is. Indie comics is a crowded wild frontier network of crowdfunding. By working to a team, we can get empowerment for the solopreneur. So you don't have to have this 13-man team or corporation like Marvel, DC behind you.
Right.
We don't have to conform to their working methods. We can invent our own business plan, which we're talking about before you came on, actually, with the people in chat. So yes, love the propaganda idea. That's almost like guerrilla marketing and all that business. Great stuff. We like.
Oh yeah.
Variant cover. This is interesting. Completely different flavor, but lovely zombie style, which is a little bit different to the zombies we've seen.
Yeah.
Tell us about this variant cover.
Yeah, so this one I wanted to bring out of how my zombies are different. So the idea behind the zombies is really, it's not they're going after brains, they're not trying to eat, but it's really actually Mother Nature, and it's like a vine-like infection that they're actually trying to infect you with their vine-like infection as well, and then bring you back to the earth. Because the idea from the beginning and in the first page, really explained in the book, is food is scarce. And at one point, scientists over bioengineer what food is left, and they think they fool Mother Nature. And Mother Nature fights back with this infection that is caused from the over bioengineered food. And so all of the humans are trying to turn everyone into this infection and bring you back to Earth, saying that we're not worthy to be there anymore, that Mother Nature is better than us. And so the way the robots get in place is there's not enough humans left to fight the zombies off anymore. So they build robots in their place to fight this war. And then at some point before the book starts, this one shot, humans are pretty much killed off. There's none left. It's just zombies left. So now these robots don't have any purpose. And now he's rusting away in this abandoned warehouse. And the story starts by the bottom of the first page. He hears a scream, which shouldn't be there anymore because there's no humans. And he jumps into action and immediately goes to protect this human that he hears screaming for help. And that's how the story starts. And then the whole thing is them trying to stay together and protect each other.
Is activated by the scream. That comes protectionist paternal spirit.
Yep.
Interesting. Yep. I've seen his eyes go on, and that
Yep.
saw that on the crowd. I thought he's awake, he's alive. What's he going to do? And we get to find out what he does real soon. Yeah. That zombie one and your kind of eco-flavored theme to scientists overextending their reach and exceeding their grasp as at the last 3 years, and everything that will probably come out in the next few years when you start rushing things to market, but also playing around with food. You end up with blueberries that are twice the normal size. You think, what's going on here? Maybe only like blueberries. Maybe we don't want big juicy fat ones. We've got a thing. We sometimes pick them out and put them in the bin. We don't want the big fat juicy one. Maybe that's a Frankenstein blueberry. And everybody's got the little thing. Folks in the audience, listen, I'm only human. We've all got a little foibles, yeah. Okay. So no, seriously though, we like the eco thing where you got Frankenstein's monster can apply to not only the last 3 years, but also to a Mother Nature saying, okay, you've done this to us, but you think you're pretty clever, but it's the hubris of mankind. And that this is what Mother Nature is a lot more clever than you think. And that all their roots are an organic Mother's Nature internet. And they talk to one another. Trees and plants talk. Maybe when you eat a plant, it screams. Who knows? Yeah. And you attach a mushroom up to a robot with legs. Maybe the mushroom will teach the robot with legs to move. Just stuff out there at the wild frontiers of some people might say, oh, that's conspiratorial. But the more you look at on social media, you see all sorts of stuff. And you think, crikey, as custodians of the planet, we have a great responsibility. And we like that message coming through that Mother Nature's actually taken control of almost like an eco-infection of the zombies to combat mankind's overreaching hubris. Now, that is a kick posterior.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. And there is another. Oh, yes. We call this one collateral protection. And we love the way the door frame's been absolutely crunched. It's all kicking off. In those classic zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead, where they're trying to board up the kind of house. It's like, hey, I need some help here, panic, and you've got the osmosis of the zombies who are slow, but their hands are gradually, they might be slow and they might be glacial, but for sure osmosis, and there's so many of them, they'll wait for you to panic and make a mistake, and then they grabbed you by the hair or grabbed all your shoulder. Before you know it, you're going out through the door or through the window in some cases. And we look away the robots paternally over her, protecting the vulnerable little girl, the little one, as you call her, and the star of the show for us, that little teddy bear is. I mean, man, whatever the inspiration for that was. I mean, well, you're a father, aren't you? So every child has the protective dad, and obviously you always have the name of your. You always remember your first teddy that was bought for you. I'm going to ask you a question that's off script.
Yeah.
Obviously, I call this collateral protection. You've got your casted character, you've got zombies, robots, and the little girl and the teddy bear. Have you still got? Come on, folks! You can only get juicy inside baseball on the 5 pillars of storytelling live, right? By asking a question like this: have you still got your childhood teddy? And the follow-up question is, what are they called?
So mine personally, yes, my son has it actually. It's stored away, but yeah, it was like this fluffy bunny as well, actually, but it was a white fluffy bunny, and the name of it was called Dr. Fluffin' Stuff. That was mine.
Fluffin' Stuff. Correct. That's the name of your first teddy. I'm going to say. Do you know what? I think we can get this going. We can get this popping, with K-pop, queen of indie comic promo. K-pop Pink is in there, yo. And what we're going to do, we're going to ask you, K-pop. You know it's coming, don't you? Where are you going? Not so fast, K-pop. You ain't leaving without answering this question. Yo, K-pop, what was? And we're doing some touch typing now, K-pop. We're multitasking here. We've got Sean, we've got you, so we might be a little bit slower. Our cog is going around in our little brain. What was the name? A bit of touch typing here of your first. Okay, so you got to interact with your chat. You get more followers on X if you do that. Apparently, that's where the algorithm works. What was the name of your first teddy bear? And don't say fluff and stuff, because that's Sean's name. Yeah, I want the honest answer now. First teddy bear. What's the name of your first teddy bear? And have you still got it? Got it. There you go. K-pop's feeling the pressure already. It's she's tried to leave the room. Not so fast, K-pop. Get back here. There we go, K-pop. What's the name of your first teddy bear? And have you still got it? Oh, here we go. We've got a name, folks. Not only have we got an exclusive from Sean, but an exclusive from K-pop. We have got, here's the answer. Are you ready? That should be a drum roll. She said it was definitely. What do you mean definitely? It was Gary. You know when you put definitely with it, it was definitely Gary. What was there more than one?
So I think the Gary is.
You're saying you didn't have a side teddy bear. You know, just some people have side teddy bears. It was definitely Gary. Okay, we believe it. Yeah, she's just here. Where we go. Going to show this next one. Just kidding. It was Bones, and he's doggy stuffed animal, and I still have him. So his name was. But see, the definite thing was a tail.
Yeah. The Gary is from my other book, The Fog Within. So she's hashtag Team Gary. So that's why she said Gary.
I see. You see, I've been tag teamed by Sean and K-pop. Yep. I see. There you go. Just kidding. It was Bones, and he's doggy stuffed. Animal, nice. And I still have him. Great that you still got a heart, K-pop, and you still have your beloved teddy bear. It's alleged that we still have our first teddy. Currently wearing a fedora. And what was that? What was the name of our first teddy? If we can get to 150 followers on YouTube, and you can call us out on this, you can shout us out on this, you can call us out on it. If we can get to 150 YouTube followers, we will reveal to Sean, K-pop, and our audience what the name of our first teddy. But we can disclose we still have him, and he's keeping an eye on now. I tell you what, that look, that soulful look in his eyes, and he's wearing the gambler's hat. The one thing we don't give him is a samurai sword. We just don't know. We don't want him leaping off there and just flipping out. We don't know why teddies sometimes flip out. You know, he just looks a little bit too calm and serene. Oh, here we go. So it's K-pop's having far too much fun in the chat there. So, good to have you in the chat, K-pop. You know what I mean? She's a great promoter, but she received the 5 Pillars of Storytelling award, a recognition award for being a killer queen of indie comic promo and helping get guests towards the funding goal. But not only that, the innovative feature. Yes, we remember these things, K-pop, of when somebody's just 2 or 3 days from funding and they just need that extra turbo boost to get them over the line to the funding target. Killer Queen K-pop Funky, as we call her, Junkie Funky, K-pop Junkie, just has that very personal style to help them get them over the line, like a Friday night special, just to ease them towards that funding goal. We like that, we respect that. So she says woo woo woo, and we say woo 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 as well. Let's do that, Thank you. No problem, K-pop. What we're all about, the 5 Pillars of Storytelling, is to give people recognition for their positive strengths, grace, gentleness, generosity, and celebrate the good things in the indie comic sphere at the Wild Frontiers of Indie Comics. And even though Sean doesn't realize it, we actually changed our background color from teal tonight to yellow. Anyway, moving swiftly on. No problem, K-pop, anytime. Thank you for turning up into the chat and supporting us. We appreciate that. All right, then let's move on from that collateral damage cover. We think that is a killer cover. It has all the emotional gravity that you need. It actually explodes at the reader. Any reader's going to want to buy that one, All 3 are good. In fact, some people will probably want to have all 3. And we'll talk about your tiers shortly. Right then. So, just admire that some more. That's gravity itself, emotional collateral damage. If you try and reach for that little kid, you're going to have problems. But it's just the impact. It's coming at you. The old zombie movies, it's going to grab you and going to take you through that door. So we certainly have him on our side as our bodyguard. Who's that guy? Klaatu.
Okay,
Black and white flying saucer movie. I'll just put here in the chat. You're welcome. Welcome. Okay.
Yeah, and one thing with this cover too, you don't have to tell anything with the elevator pitch. You just show them this, and you know exactly what the book is.
That is your elevator pitch.
Yep.
That's Had Me at Hello. That's Joe Maguire.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Right. Let's move on to the next one. Tell us about the interior art. Let's go full screen for this one. Oh yes.
So that gives you an idea of kind of how the the world building, how it looks in general. And then that's really my only exposition in the book is this first page, just explaining, like I already said, about the food is scarce and zombies came to be. And then now the robots don't have any purpose. So he's just wasting away in this abandoned building. And then he hears the eek and he jumps into action, and then it's nonstop after that. And that's why I say for the rest of it. It's Samurai Jack like action because it's so quick paced and quick scenes. It just keeps on going. It doesn't stop.
What we like about this is the exposition you do have is limited, and it's like a falling leaf. And then you see the eyes are off, and then the eyes were on, you know? And that, to me, that just, it's gravity itself. You're falling into it. And you know what the modern movies are like, the latest fashion of movies, is to exposition dump for 20 minutes. And, you know, you're nerds and you start checking your time and going, if you're born in the Bronze era and you come from that era of storytelling, that, you know, they give you credit for having a brain, and the movies don't kind of brain dump you or comic dump you, you know? So we think your instincts there are spot on. Right. Tell us about the next page, please, Sean.
Yeah. So I wanted one of the big things for this book is going to be a lot of sound effects, just so you feel like you hear the robot, you hear all the weird sounds that he's going to be doing, and that's a big part of it. So you see a lot of that. This is where you start to see that Samurai Jack like action, that splort, which is great. Someone said it looks like we're having spaghetti tonight with meatballs. My son loves that those are eyes.
Do you know what we like about? Go on, go on.
Oh yeah, sorry. And then the last part on there is all that's left is rust. That's actually the title of the one shot, and I just had to put it in the background. That's part of the art. And at first we didn't have that in there. It was just him scraping the zombie against the wall. And I was reading The Rockefellers by Ghost Machine, and that was the way they introduced the title, was in the background, like Will Eisner type thing back in the day. And I just love that kind of thing, and we added to it, and it's just made that page so much better.
I'll tell you what, you mentioned Will Eisner, and one thing he was killer at, and we'd like more people to do what you're doing here, and what he did was making the lettering actually part of the buildings, the storytelling, the action. The first word, when you started reading out the sound effects, visceral, almost tactile, to the point where you say splort, I'm wincing. I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
And then look at the rust panel at the bottom there. It's like Australian accent. That's going to hurt in the morning, son. You know, that's not good. You know, if you're a zombie, it's not good. If you want to be saved, it's brilliant. Yeah, we like that. Fantastic. Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, just you're making the sound effects part of the story rather than just an adornment. They're actually almost part of it. You know, visceral. Yeah. We do like that. All right, let's go to the next one. Tell us more, please.
Yeah. So with this page, this is where he sees the girl and he's trying to get to her. But the first two panels really was inspired by Wolverine and Deadpool. So in the credits at the beginning of that movie, you see like he's using his bones, you know, and like they're saying names and stuff like that, and they put it in your face. And I had to have that zombie like thrown in the face of the reader, just because it's just a lot of fun. And
it's what we like about your stuff. It's in your face. The cover in your face. I mean, it's your convention pitch. When people going by, walking past at a convention, they ain't getting past your table. It's almost like whiplash in the neck. If the parents in their own little world thinking about, I don't know, chores, whatever, the kid's going to go, hey, look at that zombie head in my face. Got to go and see that. The parents can be yanked along and having to give some pocket money to Johnny or little Amy to actually buy this for them. You know what I mean? It's and what we like here is the expression, the innocence on her expression, and then you've got the evil zombie with the intense kind of almost Ghost Rider, intense burning eyes. You know?
Oh yeah.
And that the zombie has a kind of ambivalence, but he's. You know, you don't want to mess with him. Is he good? Is he bad? He seems to be helping the little girl, and she's protecting her teddy. That's that nurturing thing. You know what I mean? Yep. Your experience as a parent seems to be coming through, not in a preachy way, but in a kind of you know, sometimes what we love comes through, just like that, without forcing it. This is natural. Yeah. So, hey, Devil Fly Momentum is in the chat room. A Bronze Era brother. Hit that like button, please. Please do, folks. All we want to do is not game that algorithm. We want to grow organically. We want people who... Listen, you like storytelling? We love storytelling. Join us. Yeah? Hit the like button. Help us bust that algorithm out. And, follow us. It's called a sub here on YouTube. But, you know, if you're on X, you know what a follow means, yeah? So yeah, he's our one of our devil brothers from the Bronze Era. We like Devil Flyer, and he's yeah, you old smoothie Rex. We've seen your t-shirt merch. You know, to me, it's looking very cool. We like the t-shirt merch. And there we go. I'm saying hello to him, and K-pop saying yo Rex. Yeah, we definitely give Rex a yo, and yes, we do like that t-shirt of yours, Rex. We've seen it. Mr. So much merch. I mean, tell you what, he'd bear to do a merch shop all by himself, right? Yes, we do like the zombie in your face. That's going to grab people's attention, you know. But it's done in a way that's natural, less exposition. How does the Elvis song go? A little less conversation, a little bit more action. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, and letting the art speak for itself. So less words and more of the art speaking and talking to you. It's what it's there for. That's what comics are there for, you know. So, yeah. And so this page, this is my big splash to introduce, you know, the dynamic between the two. He's picking up this crazy looking picnic table, and he'll do something with it in the next couple of pages. And just showing his strength, showing that he does want to protect her, and also showing her emotions of where she's at right now. And one little thing too with the girl, with the little one, she has like a little flower in her hair. And that was intentional by the artist. He said she's the only flower that's left. So wanted to put a little flower in there just as a nod to that, since everyone is zombies.
The last flower, the last girl.
Yep.
And maybe the last teddy, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's a beautiful page.
Holding that, what is it, like a giant metal box or something? We almost thought it was a car at one point.
Yeah, so she was underneath the picnic table. So that's the picnic table. He's picking it up, and he's about to use it as a weapon to protect her, because she was by herself. So the only protection she had was, you know, hiding behind something the zombies couldn't get to her at, and that was where she was. So he's picking it up.
That's absolutely cool. We like that. We like that. We've got to look at more, folks. We're not leaving here until we give him the full promo treatment. Are you listening to us, folks, in the chat? We're holding up the mirror. We're talking a widescreen mirror to them. The one and only Sean Wood is in the house tonight. I don't know if people know on X, but we get so passionate, so excited. We've lined up 2 more guests. April's almost half booked up. And we're just trying to keep it cool in chat, like, yeah, you can come on the show and all this, but we're like, it's so-and-so, and we want him to come on, and it's great to hear from him. Like gushing like a fanboy, but a fangirl, you know what I mean? We just, don't tell me I said that. Don't quote me. But anyway, let's have a little look at this next one. Tell us, please. Again, the sound effects. We're there. It's Will Eisner. It's this action. And look at that, the boarded windows.
Yep, the classic zombie thing. So yeah, with this, so he just threw the picnic table. They're being crunched against the wall to get out of the way, and she's kind of actually put into a ball like protection. And his other hand, as you see, it's like it's trying to be like transformer type noises with that hole on the left side, and then it shows him punching out one of the zombies, moving his go-go gadget type arm towards this the end of this cafeteria, and this is kind of like the kitchen that he's closing off, and they're finally safe. And the way I did the pages that I'm showing on the page is basically it's a short story of he's finding her, he's finally at a stopping point to protect her, and there's a little bit of him talking to the reader, saying he's gone through this before and he can't fail this time. So there's a little of intrigue as well, saying, oh, how did he fail, you know, what has happened in the past, and give you an idea of what you might learn about more in the rest of the book as well.
A redemptive arc. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Very good. A redemption arc for a robot, no less.
Yeah.
A robot with a heart. Almost perhaps a Wizard of Oz reference to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially. Yeah.
Something like along those lines, yeah. Or Wally. I mean, the Wally is the emotional type of bot, and my son is really the inspiration behind the quirkiness and the awkwardness. So it's like me and my son being the protector to his sister and to my daughter. So that's where that's really coming into play.
Sean, I've got to ask you. It's not on the script.
Yep.
Do you like being a dad? And I think I know the answer to this.
Yeah, I mean, my son's 10, my daughter's 4. I wouldn't have any other way. It's always been the thought. So I have a sister that's 5 years separate from me, we wanted the same thing, me and my wife, and yeah, I wouldn't have any other way. They're crazy sometimes, and they're a handful. Like they were earlier actually before I got on. I was outside with them, and they were
They're kind
actually.
of helicopter mode. Everything's going crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world for sure.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us more about you've kind of told us a lot about the characters already, but yeah, we just liked your kind of character profile here, your cast of characters,
Yeah.
and this ominous kind of, when we first saw this page, we were on the teddy bear again, the reach. She needs
Yep.
protection, but she's been strong for her teddy, her imaginary friend, her teddy, and it's just expression, one eye, that teddy's alive, by God, and then she's curled up in a kind of fetal shape, to me, in a protective kind of like, you self-protect when you're on the ground and you sense threat. Maybe, just sometimes we understand threat, it's looming, and sometimes we react a certain way, like our fifth sense, fifth sense. And then we just like here, intrigue, the problem,
Yeah.
the threat level, and then the reaction, problem, reaction, solution. Yeah. And we just love the way the robot turns those eyes and the way it just turns its head. I mean, it's got classic ABC. To me, it's got a single story contained on the page. That's clever writing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it wasn't originally planned to put this page on the Kickstarter, but when he put it in color right before, a couple, I think it was like a week or maybe 2 weeks before I went live, he did it in color. It just was perfect, and it just culminates the whole story that she would lose everything to save this bunny, and there's definitely a something going on behind the scenes, the thought for the bunny and everything. And so basically right before this page, which I don't have on the Kickstarter, but a zombie steps on the bunny at some point, and Recon is protecting her, and she's safe, but the bunny is slowly getting further in the distance, and so she runs and risks everything to save the bunny. That's how it's the third character. Really, is it really changes the emotional side of the story. It's already emotional because she's the only girl, but adding that factor I thought was just on a whole other level. And so this is the scene where she's finally reaching for she gets the bunny, and now she's basically saying, we're going to see our parents soon. Everything's going to be okay. And she's sort of given up, and Recon turns around and sees that this happened. And of course, crazy action will ensue after this to get her safe again.
Yeah.
But
so hope.
Yep.
I'll keep it going. Yeah. Hope.
Yep.
And certainly as humans need hope. It always helps. It certainly does. That's so pure. And we do like, actually, just come back to that for a moment, is the pure cast of characters there. You've got the robot, the protector, you've got the gnarly nemesis, and then you've got the pure little one, and a trinity cast, to be sure, in terms of target audience. And that little teddy bear as well is just it just nails it. It just absolutely nails it. Yeah, we like that. Right then, we could do the spiel here, but seeing as we've got it, this show is all about not the I but the we, and we've got the man himself on the 5 Pillars Storytelling Live Edition 7 on the show tonight. The question we'll ask is, and we'll let the creator himself answer it: will I like Recon and the little one? Let's have it, Sean.
Yes, I mean, of course, if you like robots and zombies in general, any kind of dystopian stuff. And one big thing about any of my writing is it all comes from a world building perspective. I definitely build the world out before I build, the specific script, just because I don't want to leave anything to chance. I want specifics on everything, and I don't necessarily have like a whole Bible written for my stories, but I have it all in my head of exactly what I'm going for and what this world is further out than what I'm actually going to be showing. So world building is the most fun about the whole writing process, I think. So that is definitely a big one for this book and for The Fog Within. I mean, the same thing with like the zombies that I talk about is how they're not just there. A lot of zombie stuff is a lot of fun and cool, but it's already the zombies are there. You don't know why or how. You're just running from them and trying to stay safe, and that's where the emotional story is. But there's no reason or that kind of thing or solution. So I wanted to give a reason of why they're here, and trying to give like not really political commentary, but like how our world is now and what we're doing with it, and just put a little thought behind it. So that's big. And when the comics come to mind, I think of the Why the Last Man. That's a big series that I love reading 60 some issues of, and just a lot of fun and sort of the same some parts the same idea. Some others are not, of course, but The Walking Dead. I love every iteration of The Walking Dead. Well, I guess some of the ones that lasted like one season, maybe not those, but the Fear of the Walking Dead comic, the regular Walking Dead show, all those kinds of things. Just being in that world and seeing the emotional ties to all the humans and everything always intrigued me. Dave is another comic that I used as research, and it was a lot of fun. It was more the quirky side of robots on that book. Same thing with Not All Robots.
Planet style in the 50s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Junkyard Joe was really a lot of the inspiration for some of my sound effects. So they do a lot of that in Junkyard Joe, and now I think he's in. I guess it's Geiger or Geiger. I guess it's Geiger. He's now in that book for Ghost Machine, yes. And that's been pretty interesting. And then TV and films, I mean, definitely Chappie. I mean, you can see some parts of Chappie in there. Chappie's attitude and slightly bit of his look, that and a linebacker was the idea behind what we came up with for Recon. And of course, just Transformers. Just if you like robots, then you love Transformers of all of its iterations. And I have had some people say Terminator like feels to some of the story.
Oh yes.
So yeah. And the Wild Robot, I didn't actually even know that was a book or a thing until after you wrote. I finished the script in September, and I think Wild Robot was coming out in theaters in like August, September. And I just now watched it like a couple weeks ago, and it has definitely some feels of the Wild Robot, and it's a great story, a heartfelt story, and that's what this story is. It's a robot heartfelt story. And Samurai Jack, it's not like Samurai Jack, but it's more like the style action, like I was saying before. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, and video games, of course, Left 4 Dead and Portal, and yes, we like our video games as well. I think you've nailed it with the bullet points, sir. I think the richness of those seams that you're mining look like they've permeated through the visuals. That's and we will come to your artist, your co-conspirator in a little while. I would just, when you've got that understanding, it's clearly there from those covers alone. That's your gateway into it. And what we've seen of the interior art, you can just feel those influences seeping into the work. And that's good to absorb those different things. And the clever part is actually, sometimes you have to manually put them in, but if you're really attuned with it, maybe they just flow naturally into your work. Oh, I like this, and it just comes out, and people say, "Oh, that's like that," and you go, "Well, yeah, I do like that," and it's in the work, Then, Nick, we like now. Here we go. It's commercial time, folks. Yeah, we talked about the art, but as we talked about before, Sean came into our little chat. We were talking about business plans, and you've got the creativity side of things, you've got the business plan side of things, and you've got people like Todd McFarlane with Image Comics and Spawn. Todd can speak bank, he can speak business. Yeah. Sometimes artists, even in the indie comics community, behave like it's the Marvel method they're doing. They're working for a company, but they're not, and they're treating indie comics like it's Marvel. They've got a big corporation and a line of production people around them. And some people want to be left alone to draw or write or whatever, not bother with the business side of things or consider it so much. What we like about your campaign page is it's the art's there, and then all of a sudden you balance it really nicely with an absolute strong arm of merch, and the merch is something we talk about in all of our previous live interviews, because we're not trying to be preach or anything, but we're just trying to get a feel of where indie creators are at in terms of balancing the art with the commercial side of things, which is important. If lots of people say, "Oh, I've not made funding," etc. We look at the reasons. We looked at hundreds, thousands now of campaigns, and we like yours because if we say we like a perfectly balanced campaign, and this is an example of a balance between art and commerce, we think you've got it. Tell us about this Draw Me Zombie merch bundle. This could be you, and you've got examples all over merch. Explain this bundle for 125.
Yeah. So the big thing is, like you said, you have to be able to fund, or you can't. If you only wanted to write and didn't want to do anything else, if you don't have the money to keep on going, then you could write all day, but you're never going to have those comics that you want. So you have to think of ideas that are fun for other people and fun for you to talk about and everything. And I've done drawn in for a couple of my other comics. I did 2 and 3 in The Fog Within as rebels. And since there's no humans in this world, you can't do humans. You can't put those in the background. So zombies, and he has a lot of fun with the zombies too. There's a couple. Actually, I want to say it's the one that I put a square on.
Just seeing it now. She's peeking through that little square. Go on.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's the one where she's dressed in like, her robe with like bunny slippers on, and there's some random people. Actually, the guys with the bunny, the pink robe, and the bunny slippers next to her is what it is. And I'm actually in the book as well in my my regular work attire. I got my my retail like polo on with my name tag, and it's nice to point out that since he's kind of like Recon the robot, that Recon actually punches that zombie, so he's like punching me in the book. And he likes to point that out every once in a while, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so it won't be on this page particularly, but it'll be on another page. I have 4 spots. I think I've sold 3 of the 4, I think.
All right. It's a take up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you of course get the book as well. I also do I think it'll be a 5x7 of your page. So if you ever wanted to, frame it, this is your page without the lettering. So you could put it somewhere. I've done that in the past, and it's a lot of fun for the people that do it. And that's a metal bookmark and the metal trading card, and also the shirt for the book.
Metal. We've heard talk about this metal thing. Tell us what metal is. We're going to act all innocent. Tell us about metal.
Yeah. So the metal stuff is all aluminum, and actually the metal books that I'm doing this time around is going to be embossed. So the actual robot and the logo is going to be standing out further from the cover, and it's just going to pop. I just figured, for one, a robot book has to have some kind of metal stuff because it's metal. It just makes complete sense. But just that they have this new feature of the embossed stuff, it just makes even more sense for the robot to be standing out off of the page. I don't know how thick it actually is, but it definitely pops right off of it. So it's going to look pretty.
I'll tell you what, we think you're just showing that what we call progressive spirit regarding merch. Yeah, you've got a t-shirt, but you're making the merch personal by getting readers. You've got 4 spots, you've sold 3 of them, you're getting people actually into your comic. And that can be framed as a metal poster or a paper poster, whatever. It's there. As we can say, I was in a comic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Coronation Street having a guest viewer in an episode or something. We don't know if American people know about Coronation Street. In fact, we should actually say that out loud on the internet. We'll probably get quoted or screen grabbed for that. We'll probably say, "Hey, you said you watched Corey." So anyway, yeah, and we like the fact you've got a variety of merch. You've got the core product, you've got metal covers, you've got the embossed thing, you've got metal bookmarks with the aluminium thing. You've got people guesting in your books. That's personal, and obviously, with all due respect, you can sell premium merch because it's personal. It takes time to do. You're adding value to your reader and allowing them to participate in giving value to your comic. So your creativity is balanced with the commerce side, and it isn't just cold commerce; it's warm commerce. soft commerce, where you're engaging people through value. And it's value, it's time actually, because it's limited, it's all we've got in the world. But you give people value through your use of time, you give people value. And that's to me how you get people on board. They want to say, right, how you're saying, I've got this idea, and people want to know, okay, it sounds cool. How can I be a part of it? And you've answered that question with that merch. We like that. It's a cool idea. More merch. Tell us more. You didn't think we'd let you away with just explaining that. We're going deep dive tonight, folks. You only get this kind of custom interview with a very widescreen mirror held up to Sean Ward here at the 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live, number 7. Let's go, Sean.
Yep. So I got the metal trading card. I got a sticker pack with 3 of the images, which I thought were pretty cool. And I already have all those 2 here. Not the trading card, but I have all the stickers. The metal bookmark, I took that from the image where he's immediately going into action to save the girl. And the one at the bottom that I want to talk about first is the 6-inch handmade statue. I actually have it right here. So I have
I mean, you're saying it here. Are you teasing us? You're going to show us? Oh, it's here.
Yep.
We've got. Hey, hold it up. Let's go. We're temporarily here, folks. We've got to go widescreen here. Let's do it.
Yep. So
baby,
that size. It looks.
I'm reclining. Excuse me. I'm reclining here.
You're good. And so it even has like the wiring from the bot, and it's hard in there. So I don't know exactly how he did that. If it's just stiff after he placed it, but it even has, like, you can kind of see in the camera the pistons and everything of the robot moving. These are actually plastic ears, so he cut that out of the yellow and then put it to the handmade statue. You got everything all the way 360. It looks exactly like the bot, and he's willing to make 5 more of these. So this is mine. Keeping this one because it's too pretty not to have.
Yeah, we'd suggest top security vault status on that one. That is a beautiful bit of merch. Yep. 1 or 2 people have done statues that to us sings its siren song. We suspect those. Have you got customers for that already?
Yeah. So I think I sold 3 or 4 of them, because it's also an add-on. So if you don't like the bundle, then you can do an add-on of that by itself. So once I have 5 sold, then I'll cut off the tier and the add-on. But yeah. And he does them. It takes about 2 weeks for him to make them, and then he ships them. And I'm using the boxes that he actually custom makes the foam and everything to protect it. And it came across the world to me, and it came just fine. And I'll ship it out in the same boxes, since he's the professional. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, it looked pretty at my first con sitting there. I didn't have the book with me, of course, so I'm promoting the Kickstarter, and it stopped people in their tracks looking at this thing, creators and readers. So
yeah, I'm just trying to put my brain back in and string together my next sentence, because I've just said to K-pop in the chat, crazy gold premium merch, folks. You know what I mean? Oh, Jimmy, it's taken me all my time to keep in my seat and not be jumping around and running around the attic studio and going, that merch, I got to have it, man. I've got. Do you know what? I'll be heading for bankruptcy when I see stuff like that. And tell you what, we've got the Hulk statue in the background. We can tell you like your statues. You've got your battleground of statues. You've got what a is that Hellboy one as well? Oh my god!
Yeah, there's a Hellboy over there. I got plenty more down here. I don't know if you saw this one on Kickstarter. This is my pride and joy right now.
What's that one?
The medieval Spawn.
Oh, medieval Spawn. Was that the recent one he did, or the customized one?
Yeah. That came December 24th. That was back in September that he did the Kickstarter. So I definitely like my statues.
Listen, we don't idly say things for saying them. When you're positive about people, it can come across as saying, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, we look to say things in a very measured way. We look to say, what is a positive? What's the strength? Can we apply grace, gentleness, and generosity to being positive about any creator? And I tell you what, if you just hold up that statue again, so people can see what the Hulk looks like, impressive, big company, and see what you've done. I tell you what, we're thinking green skin is going to be green, not to be jealous, but green with envy at seeing your statue versus his. Yours is proof that you can have character in personalized value merch in the indie comics community. It's right there, folks. It's premium value for you because it looks great. It's got character. If you want to get into, here's one shot, which we suspect might not be one, might be another. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
And we look at that and we think it's character. And as one of our favorite football managers say, character, and he's got it. Oh, yes. In fact, I think K-pop has gone into overdrive. What we've got here, what she's got here. Oh, wait a minute. She says here, there we go. She says, seriously, I've seen many figure states on campaigns, and that is so well bad. K-pop, we agree. We had to actually just restrain ourselves to the seat. I think our teddy bear has just had to come off the shelf and just put the restraining bolts on us just so we behave ourselves. And K-pop's clearly gone into overdrive. Mad, not bad. Yes. Well, it's mad bad. You know what they say, the young kids these days say when something's bad, they mean good. We don't know because we're 29. We obviously don't know what the young lexicon is. We're still trying to reinterpret it. So yeah, the reverse is what you mean is good. Yeah, you know, that kind of thing. And we've got, yes, I just opened mine up. What, you've got one of these?
No, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what you mean.
What have you? Did you go in a ninja outfit, Tom Cruise style, down the cable and through his skylight? Are you telling me you've like gone all black?
Did she steal mine? Is that what she said?
Are you saying you're planning to? Is that a Freudian slip? We need to up the security in you, Sean. That's what's happening. Right. Come on, man. Oh my God, I should not eat and type. She's laughing her posterior off. Well made. I think she's trying to say she really likes that robot, and it's loaded with character, brimming with indie merch, gold premium indie merch personality, walk, talk, personality, and he's got it. Yes, K-pop, we share your enthusiasm, man. We're looking at and we're thinking it's gangbuster territory for giving value to his comic, yeah. And if what somebody once said, K-pop and Sean. He said, I expect my comic to break even. But he says, the merch is the gravy. That's where I make the profit for my comic. Now, obviously, we all might like to make a little bit of profit on our comic, but that sentiment of actually broadening your revenue base and using premium merch to give value to your reader, who can then actually help you make the next one. So it can continue a one-shot into a two-shot. I tell you what, Sean, that is absolutely. I tell you what, K-pop is having a bit of fun there. You like that robot, do you? We do too, actually. I mean, K-pop, just minding Sean for a bit. If you need help with a ninja outfit and you can get one that fits our size, I mean, that robot's so good. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to saw it in half. We're going to have half each. I mean, how do we do that? And plus, how are we going to get past security? Have we thought about that?
Right.
Oh, she says again here, she's liking the medieval spawn, and you'd have to be insane not to like medieval spawn. That is a swift army knife of merch, articulation overload. I'll tell you what, keep looking at that, folks. You've got the Hulk with his hammer, and you've got Recon. I think we'd be leaning into the Recon. She's on it. Oh yeah, we expect our ninja outfit through the post. Don't tell Sean, okay? Don't give him
put this in the safe, so it'll be good.
It'll be in the safe. Are you good at cracking safes? I mean, we're not much good at anything regarding all that. You know what I mean? We're probably good at getting arrested and being taken out by a linebacker robot. We could probably put our face onto his knee. We could help you in that regard. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on to our next question. Man, that is just gangbuster territory, that merch. I mean, you got to linger on that a little bit. You just got to, man. You just got to. That was absolutely yeah. So you wanted to talk about statue first. Let's talk about, and that statue is how much, Sean?
So by itself is $150, and if you get the tier with the comic, then it's $160, and then plus shipping. I think I put like $10 shipping, something like that. Nothing too crazy for a statue, anyways.
I'll tell you what, compared to some stature, if you wanted the World of Warcraft Lady Sylvanas, we never used to play World of Warcraft, or I mean, Lady Sylvanas's voice alone would cast you a distant eye onto yonder horizon. Anyway, you know what I mean? But, don't get too close to her. You don't want to, you could be respectful around her. And I tell you what, her wave rider, whatever it is, statue is weighing in at some like 12 to 16 inches tall. Somebody's actually done a life size of it. And honestly, it looks fantastic. Blizzard knocked it out the park on the Lady Sylvanas statue. Somebody cruelly referred to it as a dust collector. We vehemently disagree with that assessment of statues. We think you have Lady Sylvanas or Recon on your desk, you have arrived. I tell you what, if we saw Hulk disappear and Recon just discreetly replace her, we weren't surprised. But again, we think safe is safest. Right, here we go. K-pop again. I can barely type. This is going to end so well. You know what it is? You know why we didn't press the button for live last week? K-pop, we were having a sugar low, and then we went on and hopped on another stream afterwards. And by the end of that stream, and after about 4 hours of streaming, we were ready to eat our. Looks at his right-handed drawing arm, not that one, but our left arm. We were thinking about chewing on it, or our leg. That's how hungry we were by the time we finished streaming. So yes, yes, she needs. I tell you what, you should have. You should have some fries, some Cadbury's fries cream, dark chocolate with a bit of icy fondant inside. Trust me, it gives you that sugar boost. That's what we had before we came as well on stream, as well as our fully loaded porridge.
Nice.
Oh yeah, hey, we've got the Greek yogurt in there, and we've got the dark chocolate, we've got the Brazil nuts. So we had to really floss before we came on stream. All done at breakneck speed. And what else was the other thing we put in it? Honey and come on, oh yeah, flaxseed. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Let's get back to the merch. See, K-pop, I'm helping out with your diet for your blood sugars. Yeah, we'd like to please here at the 5 pillars. Right. So you've got the stickers. You've got the T-shirt. You've got the statue. Are we seeing a black and white, like an Ashcan edition? What's that down there?
Yeah, so it's a coloring book. So I just thought his lines, the way that Dave does the art, it just was perfect for doing an adult coloring book. And so I'll print it out with like the least shine possible. And I've seen other people do it, whether it's a digital version you print out yourself for the cheaper side of things. I think that I made that $3 as an add-on. Or if you get it printed, I'll print not a whole lot, but I'll probably print probably 20 of them or so, and that could be an add-on for $6 as well as the comic. It's just a lot of fun. Just his lines were just too perfect to not to make it a coloring book, so I figured I'd try my hand at that for a change.
I'll tell you what, we'll take some of that merch if we can here. To mean, just got to get the team to take this guy. We suspect with that Recon guy, it's not going to be as easy as you think. K-pop, just saying, So yeah, what we like is you got a variety of merch, and again, it's clever. Again, like the book, you can enjoy this tender-hearted story as an adult, but very candidly, it's got that old school Disney. Yes, I said old school, folks. You know what I'm saying? Captain Kirk going crazy on the Enterprise thing. If you look at the old school Disney, you've got that approachability. For example, I like this as an adult. I could buy this for my child, and they can access his comic by the coloring book. And we think that's perfect. You're getting people on the ramp, on the ladder to become a customer,
Yeah.
And that's good. They can wear the T-shirt if it's in small size. They can have the aluminium bookmark for the comic. How about that? Or the trade edition, should 3 issues magically happen further down the line. Just saying. And we just like, is that a standee we see there?
Yep. So that was my version. I actually have that as well.
Well, wait a minute. There we are. Well, so, you hold up. We'll go to widescreen territory. Here we go. Oh man,
it's about the same size as the Recon statue.
Lovely.
So give you an idea. Well, if I can get both of them.
Standee and the statue as well.
So that's from the third cover, and it's both. It's two-sided, and I basically just cut it out from that third cover of him in the room where the zombies are popping out and everything. And I just figured if a lot of people like the statue, but $150 might be too steep for most, which is for me too. I understand. So I made this as part of a couple of the tiers, or you do this an add-on for $10. So if you still want a statue of Recon, then I still have an option for you, basically.
An affordable way. That's what we like about indie comic creators, Sean, who've got their head screwed on business-wise. Is that some people just don't offer digital, and they want to sell you the sometimes premiumly priced comic, which is fine. But then the shipping goes on, and then you're clobbered. I mean, we have backed about 5 paper comics since we started being part of this indie comics community 2 years ago. 5, and that shipping. Let's just call it a flat rate of 20 from America, 20 each over 5 books. That's 100. That would allow us to back 20 indie comics at £5 digital. So all those creators, in a sense, we haven't been able to reach because it's all about choices. At least if you're offering those choices, somebody who's a British customer thinks, right, I can't afford the shipping, but I want to get in on his book. It looks kind, tender-hearted, and maybe I could even maybe plump for the acrylic, if not the full statue. You've got price brackets and tiers for people. Want to get to be a customer in Australia or Britain, you can do it with a £5 digital. You don't have to worry about shipping that way, but you can still be part of Sean's team, part of his tribe, part of his Recon tribe, his Recon and the Little One tribe. We like that, Sean. We do like that a lot. Options. And the coloring book idea is swell. We've asked other people at Rexfly Momentum about the coloring book. We asked them, have you done the coloring book? So serendipity of the universe, you have, to me, and a variety of merch. We do like that. Right, let's move on. Just look at that statue one more time. Now, folks, what we're going to do now is we're going to just admire this on full screen. We're going to take a moment.
And actually, I added that to the Kickstarter because another video was talking about how they wanted to see, a bigger view of it, because I can't always be on a podcast to show it off in, its full glory. So I already had those pictures. He sent them to me before he shipped it to me. So I made it as big as I could on the Kickstarter page so that people could actually see how it really does look on all sides. So
I'll tell you what, we did mention the cables all around the back and earlier, and the attention to detail. We love the kind of graffiti spray for the A on the chest. I mean, it's and the rust effects. It's so street art. Like, we like that, a bit of graffiti edge. I'll tell you what, we're going to be a bit boisterous here. We're going to actually say we've got one suggestion for an ultra merch for you. We'll give you this one free of charge. We're going to say, imagine that with actual real life glowy eyes. Just saying, we'll leave it hanging with you. We saw, actually, if you check out our X Space sometime, we actually did a toy feature. It's Toy Tuesday. And we looked at this creator on Toy Tuesday. He does custom toys. You might have a little look at it. And we just highlighted his one. And he's like custom Spidey merch, Spidey statues and all the other kind of characters and that. He did one of like a Spider-Verse style dark version of Spider-Man. And it had purple, real life purple glowing eyes in it. And he was just holding it around in his hand. And we thought, whoa, that looks cool.
Nice.
And so, yeah, very nice. And we can imagine that with light, glowy LEDs or whatever. Just saying, it looks beautiful. And we like the fact that he sent you these images in a turnaround mode, so the reader can see the value in terms of the detail around the back, how it looks from the side, and that wood base as well. Just it's burnished. It's got that. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at it. I'm gush looking now. Stop that. Behave yourself, Azrael. Honestly, this is supposed to be an all ages universal show. So tell us about the Mortastic. Have you got a track record of doing more comics? I'm gonna have to feign ignorance.
So
tell us about this battery load of other comics.
Yeah, so these are friends that I've met over the 2 years that I've been doing it now. So that's their books. So I'll put my digital of The Fog Within, for anybody to use for digital backers or a tier or what have you, and so I get theirs in place. So this also shows that I'm part of the community too, that it's not just all about me, because I'm always sharing and retweeting and everybody else's campaigns, even when I'm live or otherwise, just because when we all help each other, we all move up together, type of thing. Just the same thing that you do. Yeah. So I actually only had up there up to 150 backers, but now we're close to 150. So I wanted to show I have more books that I can give because, we're getting closer to those higher backer counts, which is awesome. And I have more than that too, but I put up to 200 right now. And the closer we get to 200, the more I'll have up there. So every 25 backers, I'm giving away 2 books, and there are a lot of really good books. I've read all of these books myself. I've backed some of these, and some of them friends, met online and everything. And yeah, we just support each other. And my book is out there for other people's campaigns as well. So
we think this is an excellent idea. You're showing some love to your fellow indie comic creator brother, and that what you said, gold words, grace, gentleness, and generosity, the 3 G's we hold as our guiding star, the 3 G's. And we like the fact that you're bringing people along with you on this ride, whether it's through a variety of comic, variety of merch. What I like about what you're doing, Sean, is you're letting people in. You're letting people be customers. You're letting other people in the community grow with you, you know what I mean, on this kind of indie comics journey you're on at the Wild Frontier. Yes, you're staking your claim to a plot of land in the Wild Frontier of indie comics, but you're also allowing other people, you're helping other people to claim their territory. You're a sharer, not a hoarder. We like that. They're very, very important. That's that's often the measure of man, how he treats other people. And we'd say mighty fine in your case as a human being.
Thank you. No problem. I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at with my campaigns if I didn't have help from other guys too. So now I'm getting to the point where, not that I know everything, but I know a lot more than I did 2 years ago. So I can actually bring in, these new guys. If they reach out, then I want to help them. I've helped a couple guys, that just started with their first campaigns and suggestions, and I'm all ears, and I want to speak to them, and because I've had the same in the past. So like I said, we all bring each other up. We all do better for it. So
we say amen.
I'll
tell you what, our next slide, I think we've got to do this. I think it's time to see it in action. Let's see if we can do it this time. We have it on. We need to add it to the stage. We can, come on, you can do it, man. You can do it. Let's add it to the stage. There we go. And here we go. Press play. Let's see if we can do it. Hear it to the stage. Oh. Right. We'll try that again. Right, we can hear it, but can't see it. I'm sure this is why you need 2 monitors. I tell you, we are going to do this. I tell you, let's move that from the stage. So proud. So I'm going to add this guy to the stage. At last, do you know what? Streamyard seems to have its little quirks. I'm pressing a button, make it happen, man. Yes, but I've pressed it 10 times and it's still not working. What are you trying to do? Drive us crazy? Here we go. Right now, yes, that's it. Well, how about that? I mean, we like that. What do you say to that? That is just it's got the vibe, it's got the music, it's got the Mike Tyson actions speak louder than words. You don't want to be in a ring with that guy, and that's the kind of trailer you don't want to be in the ring with. That's like oof, 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 oof. Yeah. It's got that kind of visceral vibe going, which is a kind of running theme with your visuals. It's actions speak louder than words, and that is TKO territory. That's what we call that trailer. All right then, that we like that trailer. We like the music. We like the vibe. finally got it working. We got there, man. Right, here we go. So then, we've got to ask, why do you like creating indie comics, and when did your journey with indie comics begin, which you've kind of talked a bit about already, but why do you create indie comics, and when did your journey start with indie comics? For anybody who's joining the chat just now, this is your chance to hear from our resident expert, Sean, Recon, and the little one.
Yeah. So I started a little over 2 years ago now, and I just love being able to tell a story. I've always loved stories, like I was saying, and love movies and comics and everything, but I just never saw an avenue for it. And I just love having this sandbox of whatever I want to put in a book. I can put a robot, fighting zombies. Sometimes, when you're growing up as a kid, like any kid really, you're always making up these crazy stories. And now as an adult, I can create these crazy stories and have proof of it on paper or digital form. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I've always wanted to tell stories, and now I figured out a way that I could. And honestly, if Kickstarter wasn't a thing, I don't think I never would have started because I didn't see an avenue, because it costs a lot of money to put together. And if you don't have other, the crowd helping you make that goal happen, either making profit or just making it to where it doesn't cost as much, you can still be in the red, but getting closer to that number that it costs you, you can make anything happen basically. And the more you do it, the better, the more people buy in, and the higher you can possibly make, a profit at some point. When I started, I was naive enough to think, oh, I'm going to do my first Kickstarter and make $4,000. Eventually I'll be able to quit my job, and this will be my living for from now on. And I slowly realized, oh, that's not going to happen. But at least I can get it out there and have a lot of fun doing this, meeting people like you, seeing other, podcasters and meeting all these creators and everything, and just being in this community. And it's a whole lot of fun. And I'm glad I was naive at the beginning, because if I knew the realities, I never would have started, and now I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's all about the journey within the comics, isn't it? And we're not too sure. We think about you not being able to quit your job. We think we look at that little girl, that teddy bear. I mean, you know what we're thinking now, don't we? Teddy bear merch. The million teddies sold, you'll be everybody's going to be quitting their jobs, especially you. We think we'll tell you what, looking at our teddy, we're going to give this guy a quiet fiver side bet. You and me, we'll put a $5 down right now. We think if he can sell 1 million of those pink teddies, it's game on. Sorry, our Teddy was just kind of conferring with us in our ear. He's in on the bet. We'll lay a $5 that says you get to quit your job one day. And it's just, but sometimes you have to be open to the universe, open to this community. You have a sense of being open to what happens. You're relaxed in the moment. You're manifesting your dream. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to me, you're giving people choice to come along with you on that journey. And what we like is you're not just rolling one dice or two or three. You're rolling lots of dice. And on that statue, you're rolling a slightly bigger dice.
Yeah.
It's kind of bomber jacket, leather bomber jacket, World War II bomber jacket, and print on the back territory. Just another clue, just saying.
Yeah.
Flight jacket kind of territory. Hey, what we'd classify that as ultra premium merch, along with maybe a robot with eyes that glow. Just saying, I don't know, just slipped out.
Great idea. Yeah.
You never know. Your guy who makes it might say, "Oh, yeah, we can do that too." And you go, "Huh?"
Yeah, maybe.
And then you show one and goes, "Yeah, I did it for this other guy, and this is what it looks like." And then your probably eyeballs will just roll along the floor or something. We don't know. So yeah, let's go on to our next one. So now we know why you do this. It's a way. Oh, it's all about the journey, isn't it? It's about being open. That's what it's about, the journey. Right, backing Recon and the little one. How do we do it? Now, from our UK lens of shipping problems and stuff like that, not shipping problems, because in the case of Michael Bancroft, we ordered his Lucent, and it's almost like it was shipped before we paid him with our credit card. Like, It immediately shipped. Probably the fastest shipping we've experienced yet. And we think
Nice.
trading cards will probably be along a little bit later, but the actual comic itself was within about 5 or 10 minutes of our order. We're like, what the, you know? So
Wow.
we've got here the digital option. You can tell us about the price on that. Then you've got the paper comic. You can tell us about the price of that. So that's like the lower, the entry tier for digital and paper. Then you've got like your bundle mid-range tier where you've got a bundle of all the merch. And then you've got the gold premium and 3 variant covers tier. Tell us about those and the pricings, please.
Yeah, so the digital is $5 US. So you said it was $4 on your side, correct? Something like that. Yeah. And then the print, the cover A is $12, and then at least in the US it's $6 shipping. I think for England I think it came up to like 25 or 30 shipping, unfortunately, just because I have had a couple backers actually for the Fog Within for issue 2 and 3. They came back on for 2 campaigns, and they were in England, and I think it cost me like 35, almost $40 to ship. So I don't know exactly what it's going to be until after I'm actually, shipping it, because every year, especially around Christmas, it always changes prices. So I try to average at least something close, but not trying to kill whoever's trying to get it for me. But yeah, unfortunately, in England, it's around $30 or so. And then for the next type of tier, that's the all-in-one tier, or all for one, and that's got the stickers, the metal trading card, the metal bookmark, the standee, I think I put it as any of the covers. So I have cover A showing, but you could pick whichever one you want. And then the t-shirt. And that one I think is 60 before shipping. And then the last tier is of course that statue, and you get all 3 covers on that statue. And I think I made it 160 before shipping. So, and I think I made the statue, I don't know if I put internationally on the statue, just because it does get crazy, because it's pretty heavy. It's like 3 pounds all by itself. But
we have VAT, that's around about 17.5%. They said they're going to all those years ago, they said they're going to temporarily put it up to 15%, and then they put it up to 17.5. And you know how it is with politicians, they always tell the truth.
right.
Yeah. And then it stays at 17.5 discreetly. Nobody says anything about what they promise. Promises, what are they? Eh? So we say you've got 3 rock solid barnstorming tiers there. You've got the entry model for digital and the paper. You've got an absolute killer merch and comic bundle, and the embossed aluminium. That's seduction in itself. And then you've got the little pink teddy in your book, and you've got the Statue Gold Premium merch there with the 3 variant covers. I mean, oh man, you just it's mocker, isn't it? Do you have the small, the medium, or the large? Straight away, being guys, we want to go towards a large. Mocker folks, behave yourselves. And we're just, I tell you what, look at that merch, folks. It's textbooks, indie comics business plan. It's art, commerce, commercial art. It's this Sean guy, he's got it all together. By the way, I came within that much of backing the Fog Within, which I actually hammered a bit on our ex indie comic promo page. I kept looking at it and looking. When you get the long stand, I thought, that elegant artwork on the front, was it with all like the bubbles and stuff coming out, and that kind of perspective where there's almost like a kind of outward cascade manifest. That's the way we describe it in our own unique language. And we thought, just for the cover alone, forget about the story. Don't smile about the cover. Just get the cover. Hey, the covers are, for some people have got a problem with people backing things just for the cover. That is the gateway, the portal to the story inside. And tell you what, and Sean's book has got the cover, the interior art. It's just smooth, salted butter journey. He's making it so easy to be a customer. It's ridiculous. And you look at him, you think, he wouldn't hurt a fly. But you got to remember, he's got Recon standing beside him, just next to him for security. You ain't getting in there for the gold premium statue without paying the Muller man. So, hello, Immortal Rising with the comic book. Let's give you a wave back. Hello, Immortal Rising. Here's a guy who's got a killer sense of indie comic covers. He has some storming cover variants. We do like those. We've featured them many times. He's got an absolutely fantastic trailer as well. And I tell you what, he's another guy who's got an immortal sense of what indie comics can be. So hello, Immortal Rising. Thanks very much for popping into the chat. Got to give him the wave back, man. So there you go. Right, next slide. I tell you what, just that. There's the business model, folks. It's right there in front of you. Creative team, tell us about it. The Sean Wood writer, of course, who we heard a little bit about. What about Dave Schwartz, artist colorist? Was he also the artist on The Fog Within?
No, so it's David is a different guy on the other book, but they're both Dave names, which is funny. But yeah, I met Dave through other Kickstarters. So with my first book, I was going through Facebook, groups and trying to figure out the best thing that made the most sense. But with Dave, I actually backed one of the books that he's involved with. There's like 5 books that are kind of anthology kind of stories called Hospice, and I backed one of those. And just his art was incredible in the whole thing. And really, what I was looking for in an artist for this book was bringing emotion to an emotionless metal robot. How do you do that? And I've seen his art. I have physical books of his, and I just knew he was the one. He was the main person I was going after, and I wasn't sure if he wanted to do it because he's a busy guy. He does his own book, which is also live right now, called Confederate Monsters 1 through 5.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Oh yeah. It's a great book, and then he's doing plenty of other books for other creators as well. So he works part-time as at a university for art and like an art teacher. And then the other half of his career is he's doing pages by the day. And it's crazy how fast he is, honestly. He did the entire book with pencils and inks in less than a month.
Seriously?
And and the first 5 or 6 pages of colors he did in that same month too. And then he just literally finished because I had to wait till I had some more money come in to do the colors before the Kickstarter was over. And he did all the rest of the colors in 2 weeks. And,
wow.
And he apologized for not being fast enough because he was doing other books in between all that. So I was like, what are you apologizing for? That's an insane speed. So
I was getting towards Jack Kirby kind of speed, that, you know what I mean? And he didn't do his own coloring, so he's doing the works.
Yep, he's doing everything. Yep, everything but the lettering. So lettering is through Justin from Letter Squids. I've used him for all my books so far, and I just love how his art style pops out with the lettering even.
Wow.
But Dave has been amazing. The collaborating side of things has been awesome. It definitely brought things to the story I didn't think of, when we started. At first,
it's a two-way street with the creativity. Yeah. I guess, have you thought about this? The little things you think, and if you're receptive to that, then it makes the whole environment, the working relationship richer. Go on.
Yeah. So with the way I do my scripts, they're full scripts, so they're completely panel by panel saying exactly what I think it should be, and what's in my head for each thing specifically. Other than small details like it needs to be 6 people in the crowd, none of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I have the panel by panel done, and I just tell them at the beginning, hey, if you think of something in the middle of it and that needs to change, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Whatever's gonna make the book better. I'm not gonna have this attitude of I'm the greatest. I've only been doing this 2 years. I don't know enough to be the greatest yet. But with my team, with my artists or inkers or colorists, ideas, then you can add to it every time. Like for instance, with this book, the anarchy symbol wasn't a thing at first. And then we talked about it, saying how we could add something that would make sense. And then I built that in the story, and then it just added a whole nother level to the story is what that anarchy symbol means, which I go into in the book. And originally it's actually going to be, we were just trying to do
in the book. Go on.
Yep. Yeah. And so originally we were just going to put an A somewhere on the character, because A for Ashton, my son, just kind of a nod, like a little Easter egg type of thing. And then ended up being the anarchy symbol, and then explaining why the anarchy symbol and where that comes from. And there might be other bots with anarchy symbols on them as well. But not all robots have this. So there's a way more to it. So
we also obviously I'm wearing Superman tonight. Yeah. To me, no link to the slate blue of your character and the yellow in your book or anything like that. Just serendipity of the universe, and the red for zombie blood. Not saying it's linked, just saying. But and the yellow light in the background, we don't think of things like that. Nobody's that contrived. But anyway, it's how can you describe it? We like the fact that your logo on the robot is asymmetric. It's kind of like off center, slightly more like streetwise graffiti. So that adds, along with the weathered, battered, rusted metal look. You know what I mean? And the rusty blood on the zombie, slightly darker blood. So it's got a kind of, there is a bit of darkness and there's a bit of lightness with the child and the teddy bear and the coloring. But then when you get down to it, the ambiguity, ambivalence of the robot, he could squirt your melon, or and just run it along a gravelly wall. Take you down on a gravelly car park with some smack fu. Or he can be protective of, depends on what decision he's got to make. Is it zombies or the little one? Yeah, he's got a sense of protection. I tell you what, your artist, with the phrase that came to our mind when you were saying about all of that, we would be tempted to put him in the safe along with the statue for the potential next issue. We're not saying there is another next issue, but if you were to, not saying lock him down with manacles or anything, you could give him food and water and stuff like that.
Right,
You got to be reasonable about these things, So anyway, he's
actually,
a keeper,
I do want to say too that this is a one shot, but I do have. I do have a one shot universe for this. So actually, I'm going to say, as long as everything goes well, like I think it's going to, and we are pretty much getting to that point now with the campaign of how well it's gone, that there's going to be 2 other issues of different time frames, also one shots. It'll be one of the war, talking about what we missed so far in this story, and then also a couple years after this issue ends, it'll be a culmination of those 3 different one shots, so you can pick up any of them and be fine. And then there'll be a 4th issue that'll be a finale of the 3 one shots that'll culminate everything in those one shots as a one big thing. And that's the plan right now.
The power of one times 3 self-contained. As Trinity. Now that is clever stuff. Simple, pure Trinity thinking. Oh yes.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, we think Alan Sugar would like you. He's a business guy in the UK, and he's one of the guys whose books we've read. And what he says is, he's like London East End. If your business plan doesn't fit on a single side of A4 piece of paper, and you ain't making money, you've started on Monday and you haven't made money by Wednesday, don't call me. I don't want to know. You're fired. That is Cockney East End Michael Caine logic, yeah? And he's right. Keep it pure, keep it simple. What's my idea? How can we spread the revenue to give value, to let the audience in and take, in your case, the audience with you, but also your fellow creators, who again can provide tech support, help support, idea support, a synaptic bridge with your artist, who happens to be an absolute crack expert on delivering with lightning speed coloring and the drawing and inking, all of it in one mind-blowing month, and even before the deadline, saying, sorry I'm late. And you think, humility meets humility, killer product. This and also the 3 one-shots to become one. So you can enjoy it. I just want recon. I'm enjoying that. What about the other one-shot? You can enjoy that. But then when they merge to become the Trinity, light shines.
Thank you.
Very impressive. We've got to ask you this, because it's part of what we do in this show, is to be mindful, to listen and to share, which will be right up your alley, in terms of the educational side of the show. We call this edutainment, which is a mix of education and entertainment. And it goes back when we were in the 80s. There was no place to go and do this with Star Trek technology. If you bought a black and white reprint edition of Batman with Wonder Woman and Superman in, there's an article about Joe Staton drawing the Huntress, and you get a few photographic images. You go, oh, that's great, but how do you actually do a comic book page? Do you do 6 different A4 drawings and somehow glue them all together to make that multi-panel page? We had no idea it was arcane, alchemy, a creative process stuff. So monkey see, monkey do. You've got YouTube now. So we're going to go to this next slide and ask you this question. What advice, Sean, would you give to aspiring creators? Because on this show, our motto is we listen, learn, and share.
Well, I would say for an aspiring creator, definitely figure out your craft first. So like how I did with like the writing, I thought I knew how to write and everything without any education. And then I went to Scott Snyder's class to make sure that I knew what I was doing. And some of the things I already knew, the hero's journey and stuff like that, but the very specifics of it, it makes it a lot easier when you actually learn before just jumping in. And then, like I've done in the past, is like I said, world building. Build the world first before you actually write the comic, because you might lose what you're actually trying to say in your story if you don't have that world built around it. So you might not actually have this thing show up in the comic or whatever, but if you have the building blocks, then you know exactly how the story is going to go. Like when I finally wrote this story, I probably wrote the entire thing in less than a week, because I already knew what it was. I was already playing with ideas in my head and everything, and just the panels just came to me as I kept on going, and it was nonstop. And the other big thing with writing, for me personally anyways, not everybody does it this way, but I have to have the beginning and the end, and then I find the middle when I get to that point. So as long as I know where it's going, I know I'll just let my mind wander as I'm writing out each page and slowly build it on. And the other big thing too with writing, everybody's going to have a writer's block. So at some point, if you have a writer's block, figure out, okay, what do you still know that you're going to be putting in the book? Go ahead and write that page that might be skipping 2 or 3, but you know it's going to be there. So go ahead and write that. And then when you write that, you might have an aha epiphany kind of moment, and then be able to go back to what you had the writer's block on. Or like for me as a runner, I mean, I can go for a run and just try to clear my mind, and something you just have that same thought in your head that's not going away, and it's stopping you from thinking of what you're going to do. If you change your thought process of running or doing some kind of exercise or playing video games or whatever, you're going to find that point and then continue on with that. So that'd be my advice.
Well, that's excellent. We often find ourselves, if we're out driving, that problem you've been thinking about, or you think, right, this game isn't happening. I need level 94 on Super Mario on the Nintendo 64. Pamela Anderson of consoles, and you think, how to get star? You give it the practice on star 94, and then you just get that pixel perfect jump right, and then you get star 94. And it's almost let your subconscious work on it. Or even just, letting yourself relax. You go for a drive, like you say, or run in your case, being a runner, a marathon runner. And, let the ether of the universe come to you. Relax, let it come to you. You're open to it. You seem a very open guy to us, you know what I mean? Relaxed, in a good place with your life, with your family and your kids. You seem quite relaxed and happy and enjoying life. And you're bringing that sense of being, I would say, almost being in the moment. And sometimes humans will think about what's on the horizon, and in the past, bit Yoda and Luke, never keeping his mind on where he should be, always looking to the horizon. Now, we're not saying you don't look at the horizon, have some common thinking about where your plans might go, but it comes across, your vibe with us is very much like living in the moment of the story of your life. And if you and when you live in the moment, you're open to the resonance. It sounds a bit foo-woo, a bit airy-fairy, but you open up to the resonance of the universe, because we close our eyes, all we've got is probably energy waves, you know what I mean? And being open to energy waves, it sounds a bit out there, but it's like being open to the universe. You put your message out there, and if you've got a problem, go for a run and let the universe out. And it's almost like putting your hand up to the ether and saying, okay, give it to me. If you don't open yourself up, feel like this, thinking, and you feel like a victim, or nobody loves your book, or How will I, there's a certain kind of mindset to actually open yourself, let other people in. Yeah. Be outward facing, be brave, be courageous, be passionate. You know what I mean? Have conviction and be pleasant with people, smile on your face and share. Let other people help you. And you help other people, that will come back to you eventually. Yeah. Think
Oh
of it
yeah.
as a long-term investment in you and in other people. You know what I mean? We're all one ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're experiencing this humble reality through different perspective points. That might be another way of putting it. And we would say, yeah, your advice, that bit about going for a run and just sometimes it's then when you're not trapped in your seat and you're staring at a computer screen and you've got the kind of like the blue light killing your brain. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? All of that. So we like your advice. It's sage like, and it's like, we also like the bit about having the beginning and the end. And sometimes it's like the jigsaw puzzle. You get a corner piece,
Mm-hmm.
and the other corner piece think, oh, I've got a line here, and it's easy to actually go from corner pieces, and you get that. We like that corner piece strategy of having the beginning and the end, and that way, often the middle fills in because what have you
Yeah.
got? Problem, reaction, solution.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. And now not everybody does it that way. I'd say it's half and half probably. The other half probably they have the beginning and they know where they want to go and then they find the ending while they're writing. But I just can't do it logically in my brain. My brain does not work that way whatsoever.
it doesn't work that way. I tell you
Yeah.
what, with since we've opened this a lot, I mean, years ago wouldn't have talked about anything woo woo and all that business, but sometimes the last 3 years give you a bite of reality sandwich and that allow you to be more open-minded, and it's part of our X journey and our which we'll be talking about on YouTube real soon, that you're never too old to learn. You know what I mean? And we like the fact that you've got a humility about learn your craft, and learn from the mentors, your masters. You know what I mean? The Snyders of the world, and the people who are professionals. Let them teach you. Be open to it. It's harder
Yeah.
to learn when you're an adult. But be humble, and like a nice deep warm bath, relax into the moment and go, yeah, okay, give it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like that humility. It's made us thoughtful. And the point we were going to make was that we often have an idea, and because we're now more organic in our approach, we get one idea and another idea and another idea, and before you know it, you've got tendrils. And basically, it's like somebody's thrown a big 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle in front of us and say, all right then, Mr. Idea Man, make that into a picture. We know we're going to start with the corner pieces, but it's ominous, isn't it? 1,000 pieces. How am I going to put
Right.
that lot together? So
Yeah.
you can be caught in our case, we'd say, you can be caught in the R&D loop. You know what I mean? Of ideas and ideas. Now we can imagine Kirby was like that. We probably Stan Lee probably had to restrain him at times. Like the Surfer was just a throwaway character. We need a God style character instead, Stan to Jack. So we've got Galactus. You know what I mean? I mean, Galactus and Silver Surfer, two of the great characters, and Kirby said, yeah, we need a God style character, and we need this throwaway Herald, and he's, hey, tell you what, so yeah, we're open to ideas, but sometimes we have to kind of check ourselves out. Right, at some point, you've got to say, stop that. Now let's actually put the jigsaw puzzle together, and there's your picture that you're trying to build. Now put the pieces together, son. Anyway, let's move swiftly
Yeah.
on because ideas. I could we could talk about ideas all night, and you've got your ideas. We're like the one shots come together as the Trinity. That's so clever, self-contained, because you have that debate, don't you, of opus versus one shots that are self-contained and can be enjoyed that way. It's an eternal debate in the mainstream comics or not so mainstream comics and the indie comics community, and people argue. It's like a tug of war, and we like
Yeah.
about you've kind of taken the Alexander sword of Damocles to the Gordian knot. Oh man. Right, next question, Azrael, get on with it before you forget your name. What superhero comic would you be? So what superhero would you be?
Oh man. I mean, there's so many that I enjoy. If I have to be a certain superhero themselves, versus like being a part of an actual series, I mean, Hellboy and Spawn are my favorite characters ever created. Just sort of like that anti-hero, the guy that's reluctant to help but helps anyways type of thing. That kind of character. So I'd say one of those two. I mean, Hellboy is my favorite character of the two, but Spawn is definitely a close second. So
Deary me. I mean, tell you what, you're going to be that medieval spawn on the shelf, aren't you?
yeah,
It's either that or a Hellboy, yeah, but that's a medieval spawn is looking just a little bit. We
oh yeah,
sense the the chime bells of the universe on that one. We can hear it deafening. Medieval spawn. I mean, just imagine that. Yeah, I mean, it must cost you an absolute fortune on house insurance, house contents insurance, and the security around your premises. I mean, no wonder you need a job just for that. And then,
right, right, yeah, yeah.
anyway, moving swiftly on. Yes, we get it. Man, I tell you what, bonus questions, not too many, but just enough to find out about really important things. Bonus questions, we're going straight in. Here we go. What got you into comics? You've kind of all said a lot about it already, but if anybody's joining us on the stream now, what got you into comics?
Yeah, just I've always loved comics in general. My dad's big collection. I mean, all the '80s comics and like the '70s and '80s are probably my favorite ones. Like the X-Men, all those different series and different storylines going on. The best suits that they had, and then the '90s comics. I was born into all of that, so all the '90s was real big. All the collecting and all the speculation of if everyone buys X-Men #1, it's going to be worth $1 million later, or Death of the Superman, that black poly bag. You keep it in the poly bag and you'll be able to pay for college later, that type of thing. So that was huge. And then I just always has collected since, and I don't want to ever stop. And that's definitely the media that I enjoy the most is comics. So why not be a part of it and try my hand at writing? And I love the world building of all the comics, and just the fantasy of whatever I think of in my head, I can just put on with an artist on paper. And it's just that simple, because you can do, big explosions in a book and it's not going to cost you $1 million like a movie would.
Exactly. It's got a low gate between creator and audience, and the budget is much. You've also got that massive amount of creative control. You can enjoy the income if it comes in. You can option it out to a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're basically the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And it's got a very short gate in terms of content creation. You've basically got master your craft, find a printer or a PDF, and press the button to the giantest, biggest, megaest comic book shop in the world called the internet. And it's at least 4 billion people online. That you want a newsstand? There's your newsstand.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, and what we've got next, we have got what do you like about indie comics? Is it the creative control?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the creative control. I mean, if I'm hiring an editor, then they're working with me, not telling me what to do, type of thing. If they don't like something, they'll tell me that, hey, you should probably change this, or this is why, and I'm definitely open for it. But they're not saying, oh, we need to market towards this specific person, or like with DC and Marvel, you've got all these different intricate stories between the yearly story that's going on for the whole company and everything. And hey, you need to add this character in this issue somewhere. It's not going to fit, but you got to make it work. I don't have to worry about any of that. There's that, but then there's also, like I've said, the whole community coming together, that we're all helping each other. I'm in different Discords. I'm in, on all the socials and different Facebook groups. And
right. So you're quite broad with your social media strategy. It's not just X. So you've got Facebook, and you've also on Twitter X. Have you got a YouTube channel?
So I don't have a YouTube channel, but I have a Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Discord. I'm on Reddit. I'm anywhere that I can get marketing for my book or talk to other creators or readers. I'm all for anything, even TikTok. I don't do TikToks very well because by myself on screen doesn't really work. Talking to podcasters and everything, I love doing that.
Pink Teddy.
Yeah.
With a ventriloquist kind of animation and pink rabbit voice. Just saying, that's a third idea. Just saying.
There you go. I mean, it's in her room right there, because that's actually my daughter's stuffed animal. That's exactly what I told him. This is a picture of
Whoa,
her.
wait a minute.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you saying that that purple, that pink rabbit there is based on an actual real life teddy? I think you
yep,
said earlier.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that is the alpha master merch, isn't it? So you can actually sock puppet it
Right.
on TikTok and say whatever the voice is, whether you do the voice or somebody else can do the voice, or even your daughter can do the voice,
Yeah,
and get that wiggling on the TikTok. That to me is the perfect idea for the TikTok generation. Try it once, see if it works. Let me know.
yeah, yeah. That would definitely be interesting. It'd definitely get some.
Catch the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom.
It's a good idea. But yeah, so I'm on TikTok too, but all I do right now on TikTok is I'm showing the pages and making like a video with music. So I'm technically there, but not doing a whole lot. But yeah, anywhere I can try to market my book, that's where I'm at. So
I'll tell you what, we like your broad social media strategy. Has it helped in terms of getting the work out? And has it helped in terms of getting you a following and building up, obviously, with the fog within and obviously recon? Has it helped, going wider? Even if you only get a sprinkle on each one, that coalesces into something bigger, no?
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, like when you have the Kickstarter live, you see exactly where they're clicking the links. So it
Oh,
doesn't help on the pre-launch, but once you go live, it does show that I'm getting some people from Reddit, even
Reddit, Discord,
X, Facebook, yeah,
Facebook.
everywhere. So it tells you where it's coming from, and it's really interesting to see.
It's
And
interesting.
yeah, I mean the
Like
pre-launch,
meta tagging, yeah?
huh?
Like
What was that?
meta tagging, like a tag
Yeah.
that, you get the idea. That's tagged for TikTok, that's tagged for X,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, yeah. So you can do that. You can do custom tags. I haven't done that just because that's a little more intricate than what I know how to use. But it does tell you automatically, though. It tells you that it's automatically from Reddit or wherever. So that's interesting to see, and it does work clearly. Um, and then yeah, the pre-launch followers. I mean, at this point, we got to 175 or 173, I think exactly, before we went live. And I mean, people were commenting everywhere in different places saying they saw it and it looks great, and having conversations with people even before the book started. And it's just a lot of fun. So some people are only on one thing, or just it so happens that they're looking exactly at this time on this one and not looking at the other one. So you're going to miss somebody that they would have liked it, and they don't know about it until you scream about it. So you got to get it out there as the indie
You're
creator.
saying get a cool product and scream about it, just not on one tribal platform, but make it multi-tribal,
Yep. Make it
widescreen
everywhere.
social media.
Yep. Oh yeah.
We think that is, you've given out some top drawer advice tonight, and that's certainly right up there with them. That is absolutely spot on advice, and it's certainly a move. If we were getting some out there or increasing the exposure of 5 pillars to an indie comic community and creating growth, well, our next move would probably be to go wide, like you're saying with social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've gone from X then to social media, and we're looking at the ones you mentioned as well.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right then, what we got next? What are? Do you know what? Come on, Azrael, you're filling him out for that next issue, aren't you? But he's already
Yeah.
talked about one shot thing. What are your plans for Recon? Future plans for Recon and Lit One going forwards?
Yep. So those three one shots, and then the finale, and the one shots, like I said, it'll be the war that we sort of allude to, of how we got to where we are with no humans left. It'll be the beginning stages of the zombies coming out, and the robots being built, and it's kind of more of like a military style, but with robots type book. And then the other issue will be in a few years. I think I'm going to put it as 10 years from now, from this book, of what happens at the end of this. Because this is a standalone, but then there'll be a new story to tell, whether it's the same people or some of the same people and new characters. We won't know until that book comes out, but I've already written it though. So, and that finale is
It's already written.
yeah, yeah. So the outline, at least. I don't have like the final dialogue or anything like that, but I've already written that one, and I think I'm gonna do on the survey for this one. Put in there what would people like to see, the the beginning stages or the next step after this? What do they want to see first? Because it doesn't really matter which one I do because they're both one shots. So kind of put it out to the masses of which they would prefer. And then with that finale, I've seen that a couple of times in indie books. There's one called Sync that's huge. And I love that book. And he does basically their standalone stories in each issue of different characters. And then now he's at like issue 15 or something like that. And he's culminating all those characters into all the same thing. And I would just love to do something like that, just to get an idea from Sync and put it in my own thing. It's just a cool idea for me, because that is the best indie book that I've seen out there on Kickstarter in general, no matter who it is.
Send me a DM about that book. I'm curious, and I like the strategy. I'm looking at the Hulk as you're speaking about that, and I'm thinking this strategy is like so: Hulk, hammer, boom, boom. Then it's Krathum. Yeah,
yeah.
You get the Trinity. That's the way I'm feeling it, man. You know what I mean? That's good job. We've got the Atlantic Ocean between us. This could be quite dangerous, talking about big hammers and booms and kathooms. You know how it goes with Hulk swinging the big hammers around.
Oh yeah.
Well, what do you say to that, man? That is like wow. I'll tell you what. Let's take it down a notch. I mean, we could go extra existential. We've got something really important to discuss, Sean. And by the way, Sean, the force is with you.
Thank you.
Number 9, really important matters to talk about here. We got this idea from a football podcast, being fans of Nottingham Forest at the world famous City Ground. We like a bit of our Forest, to sitting third in the Premier League at the minute, and having just beaten their last year's and current champions Manchester City 1-0. Just enjoy their saying that again. I said that a lot of this weekend. Just saying it out loud feels cathartic. Anyway, back to pizza, and it's for us football fans do like our beer and pizza. So what is your favorite pizza, Sean, Recon, and the little one?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Meat Lovers. That's my go-to typically. I mean, we do a lot of pepperoni in our house because we have kids and they don't want a whole lot of stuff on it. But yeah, I'd say Meat Lovers for sure.
Meat Lovers. So we're talking meat feast territory, folks, and that is what we call a purity of an answer. I tell you what, we occasionally get hungry, and like right now, we're thinking, don't go for the drawing hand, man. Remember, that's your right hand. Put that away from your mouth. But this one right now, I got to chew on the arm. Yeah, we always get hungry towards the end of the stream. But here we go. Pete's answer was spot on. Let's move on to the next one. Look, we're coming towards the end of the interview, and I tell you what, we've just done, folks, the £800 weighing in the yellow corner. It's £800 silverback gorilla territory interview with the 5 Pillars of Storytelling live edition 7 with Krakathum, Hammer and Thor territory. We really got into it, a deep dive with resident indie comics expert Sean, Recon, and the little one. Number 10, question 10 is, we're into double figures, folks. Where can they find more info about you and your comic?
Yeah, so of course the Kickstarter page until March 21st is at 8 p.m. I think is when it finishes. And then anywhere else on social media, you can find me almost at all of them. I am Sean Wood _writer. So that's X, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's Reddit, that's TikTok. And I think I'm called something else on Discord, but if you put my name in there, you'll find me. So I am open to anything. If anyone ever has questions or wants to know more about me or has ideas and thoughts about their own books, I'm all ears, trying to help out the community. So I'm here.
What you could do, actually, would be nice if you drop in, because as we're going multi-platform, it'd be nice to be able to see where you are as we go multi-platform. Actually, you could teach us a thing or two. Yeah. If you could actually put all your community links, social media links in the DM to us, then obviously we can check you out on those other platforms, which would be nice. And obviously we can spread the word to people on X about your other platforms too. When we do a little post stream chat occasion, we'll just have a wee chat to people and say we just had a chat with Sean and he's available here and here. So yeah, whenever you're ready, drop us a DM sometime with all that social media goodliness.
Cool.
All right. All right, then what have we got for our next slide? Ah, the gods call for blood sacrifice. That's probably us. Either we're going to eat something or they're going to eat us. So are the whims of a dark nexus's tendrils. We would like to say, Sean, you have been a diamond geezer, a decent human being, actually. And we still think that pink teddy bear on the TikTok addict. Azrael, let it go, man. Thank you for being our special guest. Good luck with Recon and the little one. Hey, we can hear the reader's voice. Azrael, are you going to back it? Yes, early in the stream, we said we were going to back it, and we're going to back digital. As soon as we're finished being eaten or eating something, we will back Recon of the little one. And you can fact check us on that. We genuinely think you've got the commerce, art commerce side of things actually nailed down. You're walking the talk, and your footprints in the sand have been well earned. You've walked with humility to learn your craft, and you're open to other people about the listening and helping your fellow brother in the indie comics community. And we think that is an amazing example. Anybody who wants to watch the stream with it playing in the background while they do their house chores or helicopter with the family, or actually listen to it while they're driving somewhere or doing, I don't know, a run for a marathon, some marathon prep, they could actually listen to the Speedcast there and learn about Sean and Recon of a little one. And you can also listen to it in bite-sized chunks and take in the pearls of wisdom from our resident expert, Sean and Recon of a little one. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Every sub counts. It creates a bigger community, a rising tide that will lift all boats, which Sean knows a lot about, and it will amplify your indie comic. If we grow together, it will come back on you, and Sean knows all about that. And if you haven't watched the stream from the beginning, trust us, there's a lot packed into this one. It's an absolute pizza meat feast of an indie streams, only here at the 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live Edition 7. So the next thing we must do is give you a grateful goodbye, and Sean, we must play our outro trailer. Yeah.